deadly mobile game. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 226, The Death of a Hero. Director Luo, are you okay? Zhang Fuzhu, the former director of the experimental department and the director of Luo Ye's secret laboratory, appeared behind Luo Ye. He was shocked to find that all the dark warriors he had researched had fallen to the ground and Luo Ye was covered with broken intestines. Luo Ye had no time to clean up the intestines hanging on his body, and he was not in the mood to care about Zhang Fuzhu's concern. He cursed and rushed towards Jin Ke, who was a few meters in front of him. "Get rid of me? You have to have a chance," Jin Ke replied to Luo Ye, and after the soul-gathering technique, he also used the displacement skill to rush towards Luo Ye. This was the first time that Jin Ke used the soul-gathering technique in actual combat. After the soul-gathering technique, Jin Ke's physical attributes were comprehensively improved, and the damage output was doubled. The two of them were like two lights and shadows crossing each other. Luo Ye showed a grim smile on his face, and immediately released the range paralysis skill after the displacement skill. "You thought I was at low health, so you dared to get close to me and fight? The little beast is really too naive." As long as Jin Ke gets close to Luo Ye, he will be paralyzed. With Luo Ye's extremely powerful output ability, he can easily kill Jin Ke with one blow. However, after the displacement, Luo Ye failed to paralyze Jin Ke. Instead, he fell into a green fog and lost his vision. Fortunately, Luo Ye did not have only one displacement skill. He immediately used the second displacement skill to escape from the range of the green fog. At the same time, he quickly looked around to lock Jin Ke's whereabouts. Luo Ye did not see Jin Ke, but only saw Zhang Fuzhu rushing towards him with a weird expression on his face, blocking most of his vision. Zhang Fuzhu's expression was weird because Zhang Fuzhu was dead, but his two mechanical legs were still powered. In order to prevent the master's body from falling, he still strode forward. When rushing forward, when Luo Ye and Jin Ke were colliding just now, Jin Ke's target was not Luo Ye, but Zhang Fuzhu behind Luo Ye. Luo Ye had never expected that Jin Ke, a new student, could have a displacement skill of up to 7 meters. This incident not only induced Luo Ye to use the paralysis control skill, but also tricked him into using 2 displacement skills. Zhang Fuzhu was killed instantly by Jin Ke's super-powered critical strike. After discovering that Luo Ye had moved out of the green mist, Jin Ke immediately pushed Zhang Fuzhu's still standing body towards Luo Ye. At the same time, he took out the soul stasis staff, attacked Luo Ye's right side with a life-taking divine medicine, and attacked Luo Ye's left side with a death arbitration. Luo Ye, who was at low health and whose 2 displacement skills were on cooldown, could not escape Jin Ke's spell attack no matter whether he dodged to the left or the right side of his body. The little beast actually knows spells. In a flash, Luo Ye, who was extremely experienced, saw through all this. He chose to stand still and kicked Zhang Fuzhu's body back. The little bastard is quite treacherous, but unfortunately, before Luo Ye finished speaking, a super-powered critical damage number of nearly 100 points appeared above his head, and then the whole person was trapped in the green mist again. "Little bastard, you are too young to kill me." Luo Ye struggled to rush out of the green mist, raised his head and threw a bottle of red medicine into his mouth. There was a bleeding debuff and a poisoning debuff on his head, and he released a short knife-type powerful attack skill with a ferocious face. "Break the universe." The sea-level purple short knife in Luo Ye's hand transformed into countless knife shadows, as if it was installed on a 4,000 revolutions per minute impact drill, twisting wildly and rushing towards the direction where Jin Ke was standing. Wherever it passed, gold and stone were broken. Jin Ke stretched out his left hand, and a staff with an orange glow appeared on his palm again. Soul stagnation. Soul stagnation. Interrupt the target's skill being released, and make the target unable to release skills within 1 second, and reduce the movement speed by 60% for 1 second. At the same time, Jin Ke's body turned into a light shadow again and appeared behind Luo Ye. Another super-powered critical damage of nearly 100 points, penetrating the heart. Super kill ending. Luo Ye, you are worthy of being a great hero, but it's a pity that you still died in my hands. Jin Ke slowly pulled the bloody alien insect claws out of Luo Ye's body and pushed Luo Ye's body to the ground. He was paralyzed and unable to resist. He was used as a scapegoat, pushed out of the base, and tied to the life and death stake in the wild at night to wait for death. The extreme sense of suffocation and humiliation made him unable to sleep at night and eat these days. If he didn't kill Luo Ye, the hatred in his heart would be hard to eliminate. If he didn't kill Luo Ye, he couldn't sleep at night. If he didn't kill Luo Ye, his thoughts couldn't be clear. For this attack today, he endured humiliation and laid floor tiles to earn contribution points, broke 1 second into 2 seconds to train hard to improve various skills, and went deep into the B-level difficulty dungeon to find ways to improve his strength. Finally, the great revenge was taken and the previous shame was wiped out. Luo Ye's body was pushed to the ground softly, with an expression of disbelief on his face. Luo Ye also has a control skill, but because the first control skill was tricked out, the second control skill was not easily released. Moreover, he did not expect that a newcomer like Jin Ke could have so many long-distance displacement skills, and easily rated behind him 3 times. Luo Ye certainly did not expect that Jin Ke only had 1 displacement skill, but his stupid teammate Zhang Fuzhu appeared behind him at the right time, helping Jin Ke complete a force borrowing, helping him to clear all skills, and also tricked Luo Ye out of 1 control skill and 2 displacement skills. At the moment when Zhang Fuzhu's body rushed towards Luo Ye saw the staff in Jin Ke's hand and immediately focused on dodging Jin Ke's 2 spells on the left and right. When Zhang Fuzhu rushed towards him, his vision was blocked and he had to kick Zhang Fuzhu away. In just a moment, Jin Ke's body turned into a light and appeared behind him again, completing his first super-powered critical strike on him, and all his skills were reset to 0 again. When Jin Ke launched the soul stasis to block Luo Ye's broken universe, and once again appeared behind Luo Ye with the death charge, Luo Ye's fate of being ended could not be reversed. The soul stasis blocked his broken universe, and also blocked his possibility of releasing other skills within 1 second. Although he ate a valuable red potion with a fast blood-adding speed, he could not resist the crazy blood loss of the 2 debuffs above his head, and could not resist the super-powered critical strike caused by Jin Ke's death cut. A generation of heroes stopped here. Chapter 227 Buried with me. If he had not been caught off guard by the Luo Ye, if he had not been bombed by the death marks on the bodies of more than a dozen dark warriors, and if he had not been directly blown up to the point of being left with little health, Luo Ye did not think that Jin Ke would have had a chance to kill him. Luo Ye's current strength has far exceeded Zheng Shidao's previous understanding of him. The total of his armor and health has long exceeded 10,000. With Jin Ke's soul-gathering technique and the strongest output of all his skills, he could only deal nearly 100 points of damage to him at a time. If he stood still, Jin Ke would have to attack him more than 100 times to knock him down. I am not resigned. Luo Ye sighed to the sky. He has been extremely cautious in his life. He has always been the one who schemed against others, and has never been schemed against by others. This is the only time in his 30s that he has been schemed against by others. However, the price he paid for being schemed against this time was his life. Luo Ye has his ideals and his life obsession. He wants to build a huge army of death warriors. He wants to unify the entire continent with a powerful armed force. He wants to find the terror city that has been hidden deep in his memory. He wants to find the lost memories in the memory imprint. He wants to end the darkness that must fall every night. He wants to do too many things, but all of this came to an abrupt end at this moment. He never thought that he would die at the hands of a new student. When he put one new student after another into his laboratory as a guinea pig for his life ideal and the lofty goal he decided to fight for his whole life, when he regarded the lives of more than 100 new students in the number 23 dormitory area as worthless, when he carelessly tied Jin Ke to the life and death stake as a scapegoat to exchange interests with Fan Wenji, he never thought that these new students could resist him or pose any threat to him. In his eyes, These new students are just commodities. As long as there are enough energy cores, he can buy as many as he wants in the market. In his eyes, these new students are no different from the chickens, ducks, pigs and dogs in the breeding area. They are all just tools for him to achieve his great life goals. However, today, he died at the hands of a new student. Are you unwilling to accept this? When you used so many new students for experiments, did you ever think about their feelings? When you pushed classmate Jin Ke into the darkness of the night as a scapegoat, did you ever think about his feelings? Luo Ye, you have come to this day. You deserve it. Liu Zu came over and cursed Luo Ye. There was an accident in the number 23 dormitory area. As the highest supervisor of the security department, he delayed sending rescue and let us fend for ourselves in there. It's really shameful. Yu Gang also spoke. These days, they sent security guards around us, saying that they were protecting us, but in fact, they let us relax our vigilance and then captured us as experimental subjects. How insidious. Zhu Shu also spoke in an angry tone. He is just trash. Damn it. Others came over and cursed Luo Ye. Do you think killing me will make you feel better? Haha. Childish. You will all be buried with me soon. Luo Ye's face was pale, but he grinned. Just now, when he knew that he was doomed, he secretly pressed a secret button on his body. The secret button was connected to the main brain of the secret laboratory. As long as the button was pressed, the main brain of the laboratory would remove all the safety restrictions of the laboratory. After the safety equipment of the laboratory was removed, all the experimental subjects, including the fully mature alien insect source body with comprehensive strength exceeding that of a sea-level warrior, would break out of the imprisoned glass jar. There was no need to say what would happen next. Really? What bad things have you done again? Jin Ke walked over and stepped on Luo Ye's chest. You will know soon. Luo Ye continued to grin. Help. At this moment, Hu Xue'er's voice came from the direction of the laboratory, and at the same time more screams came from the laboratory. When Hu Xue'er was about to escape from the experimental area, a Zerg-like body that was taller and stronger than the one that parasitized Jalbo suddenly appeared behind her. It inserted its 2 claws into her body and pressed her to the ground like a steak on a knife and fork. Then it spit out a Zerg from its mouth and drilled into Hu Xue'er's throat amid her screams. Hu Xue'er, who had always wanted to use Jin Ke for human experiments, became a laboratory experiment herself. Several more experimenters ran out of the experimental area. While Hu Xue'er was pressed to the ground by the Zerg-like body, they quickly rushed out from it, trying to save themselves. The Zerg-like body suddenly howled, and at the same time, a circle of green energy waves shot out of its body, sweeping over the bodies of several experimenters. Several experimenters immediately rolled on the ground, holding their heads and screaming. This is the Zerg-like body's super powerful soul attack, attacking a person's body and soul, making a person lose their combat effectiveness in an instant. Last year, it was this kind of soul attack that caused the base to lose more than 1,000 people. Kill them all of them, bury them with me. Little beast, even if you kill me, you can't survive. Luo Ye laughed loudly with his last breath. Be careful, run away. Seeing that the situation was not good, Zhu Shu, Yu Gang and others hurriedly shouted to Jin Ke, but it was obvious that it was too late for Jin Ke to escape. The alien insect source had already killed him less than 5 meters away from him. If Jin Ke ran away at this time, leaving his back to the extremely fast alien insect source, the ending would probably be tragic. After the alien insect knocked down Hu Xue'er and several experimenters who tried to escape, it raised its head and looked at Jin Ke not far in front of it with a pair of insect eyes. Then it rushed towards Jin Ke for a few steps and stopped, opened its insect mouth and howled at Jin Ke, and a group of green soul attack energy waves swept towards Jin Ke. Little beast ... you are ... dead. Luo Ye felt relieved when he saw this scene. It's over, he can't run away. Zhu Shu, Yu Gang and others had already fled to the corridor outside the hall. When they looked back and saw the scene here, their hearts sank and they couldn't help but stop. Jin Ke saved them again. Unexpectedly, he managed to deal with Luo Ye, but he died at the hands of the alien insect. What happened next shocked everyone. Facing the powerful soul attack of the alien insect, Jin Ke did not fall to the ground and scream like those experimenters. but opened his mouth and roared at the alien insect. Chapter 228 Memory Fragments. I'm dying of laughter. Luo Ye couldn't help but complain after seeing what Jin Ke was doing. Did this little bastard think that he could scare the Zergsaur's body like this? It was too crazy. The next moment Luo Ye couldn't laugh anymore. When the Zergsaur's body faced Jin Ke's roar, it was like being hit by an invisible energy wave. The green energy that was originally sweeping towards Jin Ke was all rolled back. The Zergsaur's body made a muffled sound of bang, and staggered back a few steps. The roar stopped abruptly. Then, the Zergsaur's body looked at Jin Ke with confusion and even some fear. Fuck, little bastard. What the hell is this? Luo Ye was stunned. Where was the expected scene of Jin Ke being ravaged by the Zergsaur's body? Where was the expected Jin Ke's scream of joy first and then sadness, and extremely desperate? Damn, why is this Zergsaur's body so weak? It was scared away by a roar? Could it be that its former host was a coward? Zhu Shu, Yu Gang and other people who had fled to the corridor also stopped at this time, watching everything that happened here with shocked expressions on their faces. What happened just now? Was the Zergsaur's body scared silly by Jin Ke's roar? What on earth did this high school student dad experience in the darkness of the wild? He killed more than a dozen security guards and roared to death Luo Ye, and wanted to roar to death the Zergsaur's body? After being roared back a few steps, the Zergsaur's body was unwilling to give up and immediately launched another soul attack, a skill similar to soul division and puppet building. A ball of black fog emerged from the head of the Zergsaur's body and condensed into a worm shape in the air. There was a faint flash of electric light inside the worm shape. As the Zergsaur's body used its skills, the electric light formed in the worm shape became more and more dense. Finally, the worm shape was ready to attack Jin Ke with electric spells. Ugly monster, get out! Jin Ke roared at the Zergsaur's body again. As Jin Ke roared, the insectoid on the head of the alien worm became disordered, and the extremely dense electric light inside the insectoid became uncontrollable. Just after Jin Ke's roar lasted for 7 or 8 seconds, the insectoid on the head of the alien worm completely disintegrated, and the electric light inside the insectoid formed a surging lightning strike, which suddenly hit the nearest target. The alien worm itself. The alien worm screamed, and was completely confused. Its IQ had been slightly enlightened, and it looked at Jin Ke with a strong sense of fear. Come on, fight! Jin Ke roared at the alien worm several more times. The alien worm kept stomping on the ground with its 2 feet, and stretched its neck to howl at Jin Ke several more times, as if it was hesitating whether it should attack or escape. Just as Jin Ke raised his claws and pretended to attack, the alien worm turned around and fled to the depths of the experimental area, and soon disappeared. Fuck, stupid bug. Fuck. Luo Ye cursed. He was already dying. He originally wanted to release the mature alien insect source to kill Jin Ke and everyone else, and let Jin Ke be buried with him. But what he didn't expect was that the alien insect source was actually scared away by Jin Ke. Could this matter be more outrageous? Director Luo, it seems that your wish has not been fulfilled again. No one will be buried with you. Oh, no. All the staff in this laboratory will be buried with you. Jin Ke stepped on Luo Ye's chest again. You little beast. Luo Ye was extremely regretful at this time. Luo Ye had been a man of many talents all his life, but he didn't expect that he would capsize in the gutter today. He never expected that this rookie student whom he regarded as a worthless chess piece, a pitiful scapegoat pushed to the front of the power game, would actually calculate him step by step, causing him to lose the laboratory he had worked hard to build, the dark warriors he had trained at great expense, and finally his own life. Looking at Jin Ke standing proudly beside him, a memory fragment that Luo Ye found in a copy many years ago was suddenly activated. In the memory fragment, a hideous figure wrapped in black mist merged with Jin Ke in his eyes at this moment. You shouldn't kill me. We are the same kind. We fought side by side. At the moment of his death, Luo Ye suddenly yelled at Jin Ke, the same kind? Bah! Die as far away as you can. Jin Ke stomped on Luo Ye's neck with one foot, and with a click, Luo Ye's death was ended in advance. It feels bad to be framed. It's not a good feeling to be used as a scapegoat. Being framed and used as a scapegoat, but unable to resist, is super unpleasant. Today, all these unpleasant feelings, Go to hell. These days, the sword hanging over Jinke's head has finally been completely cut off. From now on, there is no need to hide anymore, and you can live openly. After killing Luo Ye, Jin Ke of course stripped off all the severely damaged equipment, weapons, and accessories on him and put them into his storage bracelet. There is one thing that can't be put in, which is Luo Ye's storage bracelet, D-level white equipment, with a storage space of 3 cubic meters. The equipment requirement is to have a sensitivity of more than 18 points, and Jin Ke just meets the requirements. With this 3 cubic meter storage bracelet, Jin can also store more spoils, including Li Liang's D-level blue-equipped broadsword and all the things on other security guards that seem to have some value. After searching everywhere and finding nothing valuable, Jin Ke walked back to Luo Ye's body. After thinking for a while, he decided to dissect Luo Ye's body, the body of a C-level warrior. Maybe he could get some useful materials? With the LV4 dissection skill, he could dissect human bodies very quickly. There was nothing in the body, just a pile of broken meat and rotten bones. However, Jin Ke unexpectedly dissected several black crystals from Luo Ye's head. There were 4 pieces in total, some large and some small. After touching them, the system prompted that these were Luo Ye's memory fragments. Unlike memory fragments, the memories carried by memory fragments are longer, more coherent, and clearer. Only people with strong obsession and soul may leave behind memory fragments that record some important life experiences after death. When using memory fragments, the soul will temporarily enter the world where the memory fragments are located, and the main body will be in danger. Therefore, Jin Ke will not use them here. He will find a safe place and a suitable opportunity to explore these memory fragments again. What will be inside? Luo Ye's secret treasure? Coach Yuan is still unconscious. Do you want to give him another blow? Zhu Shu walked over and asked Jin Ke. No, carry him back. He is not in the same group as Luo Ye. Jin Ke shook his head. Chapter 229 Winning Rate. Shall we go now? Yu Gang came closer and asked Jin Ke and Zhu Shu timidly. The alien insect source is still in the laboratory and may come out again at any time. They can't even withstand its attack. Let's go. Jin Ke nodded. Don't go in and kill the alien insect source. You should be strong enough to kill it, right? Liu Zhu asked Jin Ke. No. After returning to the base, when someone asks us what happened today, tell them that Director Luo captured us as experimental subjects. But an accident happened in his secret laboratory, and Director Luo died in a battle with the alien insect source. Jin Ke looked around at everyone. Understood. Zhu Shu, Yu Gang and others knew that Jin Ke didn't want to cause trouble, and this explanation was the most reasonable. After all, Luo Ye is the deputy director of the base and a member of the first echelon of the base's elite group. The tour that is about to begin cannot be without him. If they know that Jin Ke killed him, some people may take advantage of the situation. Everyone present, I have saved your lives twice. I don't think anyone will betray me, right? Jin Ke was not in a hurry to leave, and looked around at everyone present. No, absolutely not. We are not that stupid. We are all in the same boat. Everyone present expressed their opinions. Yes, there is no benefit in betraying me, and it is impossible to bring me down. Instead, I will target you. Once I target you, not to mention an ordinary new student, even the deputy director of the base like Luo Ye will be killed without a complete body. Jin Ke looked around again. Everyone present was trembling with fear, especially several new students who swore that they would never betray Jin Ke. At this point, no one present was stupid enough to dare to do so. Okay, sign this contract and we can leave. Jin Ke got a large stack of hundreds of blank contracts from Luo Ye's storage bracelet, which came in handy at this time. Although Jin Ke believed that they dared not say anything, it was necessary to sign a contract, in case some people were not smart enough and accidentally let the cat out of the bag. The content of the contract was very simple, that is, everyone had to narrate the development of the whole incident according to the process described by Jin Ke after returning. If they dared to say anything or even had the intention to say anything, they would die. Zhu Shu, Yu Gang and others quickly pressed their fingerprints on the contract. Several newcomers were a little hesitant at first, but after seeing others sign, they also controlled the characters to press their fingerprints on the contract. Where is Yuan Kaiang? Will he betray you? Zhu Shu reminded Jin Ke. He didn't see anything. What he saw is just right for us to testify. Jin Ke shook his head, after confirming that all the details were not missed. Jin Ke had someone carry Yuan Kaiang out of the underground laboratory and returned to the base along the way they came. Game World, base. Yuan Kaiang woke up after receiving treatment and was questioned individually by the top management of the base. Jin Ke, Zhu Shu and a dozen other new students were taken to a one-way glass interrogation room. Manager Luo said we were on a mission and tricked us into going to a secret lab, wanting us to be his test subjects. After we went there, the security guards immediately showed ferocious looks. I don't know what happened in Manager Luo's secret lab. It was a mess. Manager Luo and an alien insect were fighting. The security guards went to help, and we escaped in the chaos. That's what happened. We don't know what the situation is there now. The new students who returned to the base and signed a contract with Jin Ke reported what happened today to several senior staff members of the base in a very consistent manner. This interrogation room is not only one-way glass, but also one-way sound transmission. The senior management of the base can hear what the new students say, but the new students cannot hear what the senior management says. They are telling the truth. Luo Ye is so crazy that he wants to capture them for experiments and test some new medicine. I fought with Liang to protect them, but was knocked unconscious by Liang. Yuan Kaiang, who was sitting in the same room with the top leaders of the base and receiving treatment, touched his aching head and confirmed the player's statement. This Luo Ye is so crazy, he is beyond help. I hope he dies in his secret laboratory this time and never comes back. Zhang Daxiu spoke. He can't die yet. The tour is about to start. In the first round in 3 days, our King Tashan base will play against Mang base. With him, our winning rate is more than 70%. Without him, our winning rate drops to less than 20%. Fan Wenji looked very troubled. He asked for death. Do you want to risk your life to save him? Zhang Daxiu looked at Fan Wenji with dissatisfaction. If he dies, who will take over as the jungle assassin? Fan Wenji looked at the people in front of him. I'll do it. Yuan Kaiang volunteered. Fan Wenji glanced at Yuan Kaiang, then rubbed his eyes, with an expression that he wanted to say something but didn't want to hurt Yuan Kaiang's face. You can't do it. Your level hasn't been raised. You don't have speed in the jungle, and you don't have output in team battles. Once you are killed by the opponent, the rest of us will be passive. Ran Maqiang answered Yuan Kaiang for Fan Wenji. Director Ran, contact Director Luo's communication channel and ask him about his current situation, and then ask him what happened to the secret laboratory, and let him give us an explanation. How about this? After you contact him, I will ask him personally. Fan Wenji pondered for a while and then said a few words to Ran Maqiang. Okay. Ran Maqiang dialed Luo Ye's communicator. The high-level executives of the base used a very advanced chip-type communicator, which has the same function as the old-fashioned mobile phones in the real world. It only has the function of calling. It is attached to the surface of the ear skin and can be controlled by mind to dial, answer, hang up, etc. This chip-type communicator between high-level executives can only be dialed by specific people. If there is no answer for a long time after dialing, and it is not hung up, it will automatically connect after 3 minutes. Luo Ye's communicator was not answered, nor was it disconnected. 3 minutes later, the communicator was automatically connected. There was no sound from Luo Ye, nor any human voice, but there were a lot of howling and roaring of alien insects. It's over, Director Luo, it's gone. Fan Wenji sighed deeply. Good is rewarded with good, and evil is punished with evil. Luo Ye finally has such a day. Zhang Daxiu couldn't suppress his inner joy. Without a powerful assassin, we will definitely lose this tour with Mang base. If we lose this tour, the rating of the base will be downgraded by several levels, and the budget for the next quarter will be seriously overspent. The situation will be difficult to clean up. Fan Wenji was worried. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 230 Promotion. But only by getting rid of a bad apple can the base develop healthily in the future. Director Fan. You must have the courage to cut off your arm and scrape your bones to cure the poison. I don't believe that the base will not function without this Luo. Zhang Daxiu persuaded Fan Wenji. Where is Luo Ye's secret laboratory? Fan Wenji turned to Yuan Kaiang. It's in the back mountain. Yuan Kaiang took out a three-dimensional map and provided the specific location coordinates to Fan Wenji. Director Fan. You won't risk your life to save that scumbag, right? He's asking for death, so don't do it. Zhang Daxiu persuaded Fan Wenji. His secret laboratory is too close to us, and there is an alien insect incident. I have to contact the shelter and ask them to provide support to help eliminate the alien insects in Luo Ye's laboratory, otherwise it will be a potential threat to the base. Fan Wenji replied Zhang Daxiu. Director Fan. You finally made the right decision. Zhang Daxiu was relieved when he heard Fan Wenji say that he would not take the risk himself. Interrogation room. What Director Luo did to you was outrageous. The senior management of the base has discussed this matter. With my efforts, the senior management of the base agreed to give each of you 500 contribution points as compensation. Everyone is tired today. Go back and rest. Yuan Kaiang, on behalf of the senior management of the base, came over and announced to the dozen new students. The new students thanked Yuan Kaiang, and then went to rest or train. Student Jin Ke, I failed to protect you. As a coach, I am very remiss. Yuan Kaiang came over and walked out with Jin Ke. It doesn't matter, it's over. Jin Ke looked indifferent. Humphrey, if I were fully armed, I would never let him succeed. Yuan Kaiang looked depressed. That's right. Coach Yuan is now the #1 assassin in the base. How can Li Liang be your opponent? Jin Ke said a few words to Yuan Kaiang. Alas, as the #1 assassin in the base, the pressure is so great. There are many more responsibilities. Do you know? The greater a person's ability, the greater the responsibility. Yuan Kaiang looked very emotional. I understand. Jin Ke rolled his eyes. I will focus on training you. You are very talented and a good seedling. If you work hard, you will soon reach my level. It will be no problem for you to be the second assassin of the base. Yuan Kaiang patted Jin Ke on the shoulder. I will definitely work hard. Jin Ke rolled his eyes again. Whelan Home Community Villa. Chen Wei's master bedroom. Kill Luo Ye. Chen Wei made a cup of tea for Jin Ke. As soon as the villa employees got into trouble, he received help from the students and watched the whole process in front of Zhu Shu's mobile phone screen. No choice, for the sake of survival. Jin Ke nodded. You saved the lives of more than a dozen employees. I reported this matter. This kind of thing cannot be hidden from the studio. The studio replied to the email, saying that it has evaluated your strength and believes that you have reached the conditions of the director level. You will be officially promoted to a director-level employee. You will enjoy director-level treatment in the future and no longer have to participate in the ranking competition in the game. Chen Wei continued. Oh, Jin Ke was a little surprised. In addition, you have also met the conditions for being a mentor. You can take on tasks at any time to rent a villa and recruit a group of new employees. After entering the game again, you should be able to receive an email from the studio, which contains the method of taking mentor tasks. Chen Wei conveyed the content of the studio's reply to Jin Ke. Oh, thank you, Director Chen. I thought the studio would hold me responsible for killing Luo Ye. You have the intelligence and ability to kill Luo Ye. You are exactly the talent the studio needs. How could they hold you responsible? Congratulations. You don't have to call me Director Chen anymore in the future. Chen Wei smiled. I am very happy here and get along well with my colleagues. I have no plans to go out and start my own business for the time being. Jin Ke shook his head. Let's look at the task rewards and then decide. Chen Wei did not comment on Jin Ke's statement. Director Chen, let me ask you something. Jin Ke changed the subject. What is it? What is the demonization value after killing someone? There is no official statement. I can only tell you what I have found out. Chen Wei seemed a little hesitant. You say, The demonization value seems to be the number of people killed. Killing a person will definitely increase the demonization value a little, but there are other ways to increase the demonization value. There is an uncertain saying in the market that when a person's demonization value is high, the hostility in his body will become heavier, and he will become more and more bloodthirsty and regard human life as worthless. But isn't this nonsense? Killing a lot of people itself means that he is very violent and regards human life as worthless. In addition, some specific people may awaken some memories of their previous lives after their demonization value reaches a certain value. The former statement is relatively scientific, and the latter statement is more mysterious. I have only heard about it, and I am not very clear about the details. Chen Wei answered Jin Ke. Okay, thank you Director Chen. There is nothing else. I won't bother you anymore. Jin Ke stood up. Okay, after you go out and start your own business, we can contact each other by phone at any time. If there is anything you don't understand, you can still consult me at any time. I will try my best to answer you what I know. Chen Wei also stood up. After returning to the room, Jin coaxed Xue'er to sleep, and then logged into the game using the game cabin. Sure enough, there was an email from the studio in the mailbox of the vision menu bar. The content of the email first affirmed Jin Ke's victory over Luo Ye and saving the lives of more than a dozen employees of the studio, and then said that after evaluation, Jin Ke was promoted to a director-level employee of the studio, and believed that Jin Ke's strength was enough to serve as a mentor for new employees of the studio. If Jin Ke agrees to serve as a mentor for new employees, he will increase his daily salary by 1,000 yuan on the basis of the daily salary of 1,000 yuan at the director level, and his monthly salary will reach about 60,000 yuan. An additional 200 energy points will be awarded in the game every day. In addition, you can choose a villa rented by the studio as your new workplace, and there is also a car worth 1 million for the mentor to use for free. After serving as a mentor, Jin Ke can recruit employees on his own or entrust the studio to help recruit employees. For each employee recruited in the villa, he will receive a commission of 5,000 yuan and a reward of 500 energy points in the game, which will be issued in the form of energy cores and collected in the email. After becoming a mentor, you will also receive a set of mentor-specific accessories that can be equipped according to your current attributes. After your character attributes are improved, the mentor's accessories set will also be upgraded to the corresponding level for free. Chapter 231, Winter Mountain Maze. The mentor jewelry set is a complete set of blue jewelry, including 4 rings, 2 bracelets, and a chest chain, all of which have invisibility and binding properties. After wearing them, other people in the game world cannot see them, nor can they be robbed. Mentor jewelry can choose the category of jewelry by themselves, and there is a chance to change it once a week after selection. The attribute required for jewelry equipment is induction. Jin Ke's current induction is close to 20 points, and he can already equip D-level jewelry. The mentor sets for him to choose in the studio mentor task are all D-level jewelry. The blue jewelry in the mentor set generally increases combat attributes, such as critical hit rate, critical hit damage, attack speed, health, armor energy, etc. There are also a small number of basic attributes, which increase the basic attributes of the body. Of course, there are also storage type ones. D-level storage jewelry has a capacity of 3 cubic meters, but only 1 storage jewelry can be obtained. Jin Ke now has a 1 cubic meter storage bracelet and a 3 cubic meter storage bracelet, both of which were obtained from Luo Ye. Of course, it would be better to have another 3 cubic meters of storage accessories. You can never have too much of this stuff. Limited by the equipment and the internal energy circuits of the body, a player can only wear 4 rings, 2 bracelets and a necklace at most. The task rewards also include that if the strength of the subordinates is improved, for example, if the qualifying competition reaches E level, the mentor will receive an additional bonus of 1,000 yuan and 200 energy points in the game. If the E level is reached, it is a bonus of 2,000 yuan and 400 energy points in the game. For those who are directly promoted to the director level like Jin Ke, Mentor Chen Wei will receive an additional bonus of 50,000 yuan and 5,000 energy points in the game. Jin Ke now understands why Chen Wei seemed very happy when he saw him just now. Jin Ke's excellent performance has brought him a lot of extra benefits. There are rewards and penalties. If an employee dies or leaves, the previous 5,000 yuan reward and 500 energy points will be forcibly returned, and the mentor will be fined 2,000 yuan in the real world and 200 energy points in the game world. If the studio is applied for a pension for the deceased employee, the mentor will bear 20% of it. Of course, the number of employees recruited is limited. If Jin Ke accepts the mentor task, the number of employees under his command cannot exceed 15. If all the staff are recruited, he will receive a cash reward of 75,000 yuan in the real world and a reward of 3,000 energy points in the game world. The task also lists many other details, such as the studio will assign a logistics supervisor to assist the mentor's work, the standard of working meals, etc., a total of dozens of items. It has to be said that the mentor task is still very tempting. In the real world, you can own a villa managed by yourself, have more than a dozen employees, a daily salary of 2,000, and a car worth 1 million for the mentor to use for free. The in-game mentor suit can greatly enhance the player's strength. The energy points issued every day and the energy points obtained by recruiting employees can be absorbed by themselves to improve the skill level, or exchanged for other props that are useful to oneself. Now Jin Ke understands why talented players like Chen Wei are willing to take on tasks as mentors. The treatment is indeed very generous. He also understands why these players who serve as mentors are very happy to recruit new employees. For each employee recruited, the mentor will receive a commission reward of 5,000 yuan and 500 energy points. Emotionally speaking, Jin Ke does not want to leave Villa 16 now. He has established a deep relationship with his mentor Chen Wei and all the employees here. Liu Zioxi has been helping him take care of Xue'er, so that he has no worries in the game. Intellectually speaking, being a mentor can get a lot of resource support from the studio, which is very beneficial to improving strength. In addition, frequent contact with the studio's senior management should be able to understand information that he could not understand when he was an ordinary employee before, allowing him to further explore the truth behind this game. But there is still a problem. That is, after becoming a mentor, you have to frequently face the consultation of new employees on various issues. Anything that happens to them must be communicated to the mentor in the studio, which often interrupts the work you are doing. If you leave it alone, once these employees die or leave, the resources they have previously obtained will be deducted, and they will also be subject to additional penalties. Think about it for 2 days before deciding. Anyway, there is no deadline for this task and you can take it at any time. After studying the studio's email, Jin Ke decided to enter the game cabin to study the several memory fragments dissected from Luo Ye's body to see what is inside. If you use these memory fragments on the mobile phone screen, Jin Ke can only understand the contents of these memory fragments from the mobile phone screen. If you are in the game cabin, Jin Ke will be in the world of Luo Ye's memory fragments, and can more fully understand and observe these memory contents. After Xue'er fell asleep, Jin Ke entered the game cabin. After controlling the character to stop the plugin and return to his dormitory, Jin Ke passed through the wall and entered the cave in the mountain. Although Luo Ye was dead, Jin Ke had already developed a habit and still felt that it would be safer to hide in a mountain cave that no one knew about. Jin Ke dug a secret room for himself in a hidden but dry cave wall somewhere in the mountain cave. After entering the secret room, Jin Ke opened the prop bar, took out a memory fragment of Luo Ye from it, and selected the view option. After confirming to view it, Jin Ke was in a trance for a while, and the next moment, he appeared in the wilderness. It was Luo Ye and another man, walking and talking in the wilderness. Jin Ke floated beside them like a phantom, able to move and observe on his own, but unable to interfere with anything inside. They mentioned the Dongling Mountain Maze in their conversation, and their destination was the Dongling Mountain Maze. The first level of the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth has a large number of alien worms and infected bodies. The mature insect cysts of alien worms are the main materials for many S-level potions, such as soul-strengthening potions, soul-expanding potions, and soul-dividing potions. The man introduced to Luo Ye as he walked, The second level of the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth is mainly elite alien worms and alien worm mini-bosses. Dissecting them can obtain black liquid insect cysts, which are the main materials for making SS-level potions such as soul-soothing potions, soul-assisting potions, and soul-splitting potions. The man continued to introduce to Luo Ye. What are the conditions for hunting alien worms? Luo Ye's voice. With your current strength, you can only wander around the entrance of the first level of the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth, and you need to recruit a team of at least 10 people with members of similar strength to you to successfully hunt the insect cysts of alien worms. The man answered Luo Ye. Chapter 232. We are the same. You just said that once attacked by an alien worm source, the body is injected with alien worm eggs or alien worm larvae, becoming an alien worm-infected body, and the alien worm-infected body may evolve into a new alien worm source body in the future? Luo Ye asked the man another question. Yes. Some unlucky people who want to hunt insect cysts also become alien worm-infected bodies or alien worm source bodies after entering the maze. The man answered Luo Ye. Luo Ye did not ask anything else, but fell into deep thought. The Luo Ye in this memory fragment was obviously a few years younger than the Luo Ye that Jin Ke had seen. Jin could guess what Luo Ye was thinking about just now. It should be at this time that he had the idea of setting up a laboratory in the base to mass-produce insect cysts, so there was a big cleanup operation last year. However, Jin's focus now is on what the man just said, which contains a very important piece of information for him. After Liu Junming successfully made the soul-splitting agent and helped Jin split his soul and obtain a second profession, Jin had no clue about how to split his soul again with the soul-splitting agent to obtain a third profession. Liu Junming had not studied this and could not help Jin. I really didn't expect to accidentally get useful information from Luo Ye's memory fragment. Dongling Mountain Labyrinth. It looks like I have a chance to go there. It is said that at the bottom of the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth, that is, the 18th floor, there is a huge space-time rift. Next to that space-time rift, you can definitely meet a space-time merchant who has various secret treasures for exchange. But it is not easy to enter the 18th floor of the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth alive. The man continued, and the information he provided to Luo Ye was obviously very important. Luo Ye should have paid a lot for it. The memory fragments skipped a section on their own. After Jin's mind was in a trance for a while, he appeared at the entrance of the Dongling Mountain maze. Luo Ye had more than a dozen teammates around him. It was unknown where he recruited them from. He promised these people a very generous reward and asked them to go into the maze with him to hunt for alien worms. The next step was the process of hunting for alien worms. Luo Ye's team encountered the first alien worm. After the battle began, several alien worms suddenly appeared. The battle was extremely tragic. The team failed to successfully kill the alien worm. Luo Ye saw that the situation was not good and fled. The team of more than a dozen people fled separately, and many of them ran into other alien worms in the maze, and almost all of them were wiped out. Luo Ye relied on his agility and a skill of hiding in the shadows to escape by chance. When he was about to escape from the maze, he saw an alien worm injecting alien worm eggs into the body of one of his companions. Luo Ye hid his figure and waited until the alien insect source body left. He then quietly approached and took the body of his companion out of the maze. This memory fragment ended here, but Jin basically knew what happened afterwards. Dongling Mountain Maze. I remember it. In order to open up the third profession, I must go there. After checking this memory fragment, it disappeared from Jin's prop column. However, Jin had been prepared for this. In order to avoid any omissions, he just turned on the screen recording function of the virtual phone and recorded the whole scene. Then, it was the second memory fragment. The content of the second memory fragment was a bit vague, or not very stable. After Jin entered, he found that this was a very desolate planet. There was no trace of any intelligent creatures on the planet. There were strange rocks everywhere, and it seemed that there was no air. A dozen tall figures, all shrouded in black fog, stood scattered on the cliffs at the highest point of the planet. They all stood with their hands behind their backs, looking up at the vast starry sky. One of them stood in front of everyone, and on a huge rock, It was obvious that he was the leader of these people. "Do you want to continue?" One of the figures in the black fog spoke. Jin changed his angle and vaguely recognized him through the black fog lingering in front of him. This person is Luo Ye. How could he look like this? Where is this desolate planet? Of course, the leader replied to Luo Ye, and then turned around to look at everyone. Through the black fog lingering around the leader, Jin Ke vaguely saw the face of this person. After seeing who it was, he couldn't help but be shocked. How could it be? How could it be? You shouldn't kill me. We are the same kind. We fought side by side. Luo Ye's last few words before his death also appeared in Jin Ke's mind. Next was the third memory fragment. This memory fragment contains a copy. Luo Ye and his companions defeated a boss. The boss dropped many treasures. Luo Ye was given a mysterious fragment, which recorded a special potion and a method of using controllable dark energy to forcibly open the energy gate of the human body, allowing ordinary people to break through to the first level of energy cultivation in a few days, or even the second level of energy cultivation. This should be the training method of the Dark Dead soldiers. Jin Ke also recorded the contents of the fragment. Although he felt that he might not need these things, he was not afraid of taking up the storage space of Xiaomi mobile phone. That almost infinite storage space. The content of the fourth memory fragment was the scene of Luo Ye buying a shop in the black market of the Green Plain shelter. He got a contract for the shop and owned the shop for 10 years. After Jin Ke withdrew from the fourth memory fragment, he looked in Luo Ye's storage bracelet and found the shop ownership contract. Whoever holds this ownership contract means who the shop belongs to. Jin Ke felt that he needed to take some time to go to the Green Plains shelter to see how the shop was developing now, since he was now the owner of the shop. The next day, in the equipment department, Yao Chengzu, Liu Junming and Zhang Shidao gathered together to chat. "Master, Uncle Liu, Master, do any of you know the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth?" After Jin Ke came over, he asked Zhang Shidao, Liu Junming and Yao Chengzu. The game Horror City is the same as other games. Only the places that Jin Ke has been to will be displayed on the map, and the places that he has not been to are all black. He knows. Zhang Shidao passed Jin Ke's question to Liu Junming. "I know something, but not in detail. He seems to have been there, so he should know better than me." Liu Junming passed the question to Yao Chengzu. "Yes, I know." Yao Chengzu nodded. "Master, if you know, tell me quickly," Jin Ke urged. Chapter 233, Starting Your Own Business. The Dongling Mountain Labyrinth is at the junction of the Huoyan Shelter and the Green Plains Shelter. It is within the jurisdiction of the Huoyan Shelter. It is not far from us. It takes about 2 days to walk there. Yao Chengzu answered Jin Ke. "How can I get there safely?" Jin Ke continued to ask. "What do you want to do in the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth? Hunt elite alien insects? Could it be looking for the main material for making soul-splitting potions?" Liu Junming interrupted. "You guessed it and still ask me?" "The Dongling Mountain Labyrinth is extremely dangerous. Few people who enter can come back alive. If you die, your master will die and no one will bury him. Think about it. If your master dies and no one buries him, he will turn into a black corpse, be beaten as a wild monster during the day, and then resurrect at night. How miserable it is." Liu Junming advised Jin Ke. "Get out." Zhang Shidao kicked Liu Junming on the buttocks and knocked him to the ground with this duel. "I'm just going to take a look first. The maze just needs to tell me how to get there." Jin Ke insisted. "Okay, if you want to go to the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth, you can go to the number 05 post station at the King Moss Mountain base first, rest there for a night, and then go to the number 07 post station at the Yuliuan base next door. We have a good relationship with the Yuliuan base. Before you go, I'll ask the base to say hello to them first, and you can stay there. It's a 5-hour journey between Yuliuan number 07 post station and the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth. Although the labyrinth has its own protective shield to resist the darkness of the night, it is not safe to stay in the labyrinth at night. You may be attacked by alien insects, so you have to plan well before you go. There are 12 hours in the day, 5 hours to go there and 5 hours to return, so you can only stay in the labyrinth for 1 hour. Of course, if you run fast and save time on the way, you can stay in the labyrinth for more time, but you have to leave enough time for yourself. It will be troublesome if you can't return to the post station before dark. In addition, there are many local refugees between Yuliuan No. 07 post station and Dongling Mountain Labyrinth. The number of refugee groups formed by these refugees varies from hundreds to thousands. They have no fixed place to live, but the leaders have a set of small and medium-sized protective shields used by post stations to allow them to survive in the darkness in the wild. These refugees mine in Dongling Mountain and use the collected minerals to exchange energy cores and various living supplies from nearby bases, post stations, and shelters. However, they are prone to shortages of supplies and food, and then become no different from bandits. You must be careful when passing by there. Once they are targeted by you, they will rob you of everything and even capture you to work as a miner. Yao Chengzu explained some precautions to Jin Ke in detail. How strong is the refugee leader? Jin Ke asked Yao Chengzu. The strength of the refugee leaders is generally around D level. There may be some DD level and DDD level ones, but there should be very few C-level ones. If they really reach this level of strength, they should not like the refugees' life of being homeless. If you go to the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth, you will not only encounter robbery by refugees, but also the patrol team of the Fire Rock Shelter. The relationship between our Green Plains Shelter and the Fire Rock Shelter is not very harmonious. If you encounter the patrol team of the Fire Rock Shelter, they will definitely interrogate you. After finding out that you don't have their ID card, they will arrest you as a spy, which will be very troublesome. The strength of these patrol captains is generally D level, but there are also a few C level ones. If you really want to go, you must avoid them, otherwise it will be very troublesome. Yao Chengzu thought of something and told Jin Ke a few more words. I won't go for the time being, but I just have this plan. Jin Ke nodded. Wheelan Home Community, Villa number 16. I submitted an application to the studio and explained your situation. They agreed to let Zioxi go with you to be your logistics supervisor. Chen Wei told Jin Ke the news. Isn't this bad? And, I haven't decided yet. Jin Ke hesitated, always feeling that poaching like this was not a good idea. I talked to Zioxi, and she said that if you leave to start your own business, she wants to go with you. I can't force her to stay, can I? Chen Wei spread his hands. Thank you so much, Director Chen. Jin Ke didn't know what to say. Hurry up and take the task. The earlier you take the task, the earlier you can enjoy the benefits brought by the task, which will be of great benefit to your future development. In addition, if you take the task, I will also reward you. Chen Wei urged Jin Ke again. Okay. Jin Ke knew that Chen Wei probably didn't care about these rewards, and such suggestions were for his own good. Jin Ke was very fortunate to have met a mentor like Chen Wei. He would never forget the days in the 16 villas of the Blue Home Community. Take the task, and tell me when you find a good place. If it is decided in Huang City, I will drive you there. Chen Wei patted Jin Ke on the shoulder and stood up. Okay. Thank you, Director Chen. Hello, brothers. Don't say these polite words. 2 days later, there was a tour between the Qingtai Mountain base where Jin Ke was located and the Mang base. Jin Ke was also very interested in this kind of tour. From this kind of tour, he could almost see the level of the top masters of each base under the jurisdiction of the Green Plain Shelter. Therefore, he decided to observe this tour before going to the Dongling Mountain maze. Since he decided not to leave for the time being, he might as well apply for the mentor task in the next 2 days. This mentor task should be busy in the first 2 days, and then it can be handed over to Liu Zioxi to handle. Jin Ke took out his mobile phone and confirmed on the screen that he had accepted the task of being a mentor for newcomers. First, there was a contract, a very detailed contract with dozens of clauses, including that before the new employees officially joined the company, it was strictly forbidden to remind the new employees of information such as death in the game, death in the real world, resignation of the character and transformation into an NPC in the game, and becoming an empty shell in the real world, otherwise they would die. As expected, Jin Ke frowned, but still signed the contract. Thank you very much for being the new mentor of Jinjai Studio. First of all, please read the mentor rules carefully. Jin Ke confirmed step by step, and then came to the interface of choosing a work location. It turned out that he could not only choose a work location in Huang City, but also in other cities, and even in Japan, the United States, Europe, Africa. All over the world. The studio has infiltrated all countries. Jin Ke was surprised, but not very shocked. From this point of view, the boss behind the studio is much more powerful than Jin Ke originally imagined. Choosing a city in another country as a work location requires proficiency in the local language. Jin Ke now has only learned a little English in school. In addition to his native language, he cannot meet the requirements of being a mentor in other countries, and cannot go to trap foreign devils. So, it is better to stay in China. Soon, Jin Ke found a place that interested him. Chapter 234 Recruiting People. The suitable location that Jin Ke found was Building 17, Wheel and Home Community, Huang City. Unexpectedly, the villa next door, which had been empty for a long time, had already been rented by the studio. Or, it was simply the studio's asset. The reason for choosing this place was simple. He had never made any friends in his life, nor did he have any relatives. All his friends now were in Building 16. After confirming the work location, Jin continued the next step of the mentor's task. Next, the studio would arrange an internal affairs supervisor for him. Because of Chen Wei's application, this step had automatically filled in Liu Zioxi's name, and then it was time for the next step. The rest of the work could be handed over to Liu Zioxi to do. She would call to hire a chef and a part-time worker. All expenses would be reimbursed according to certain standards, and deductions were not allowed. Once the studio found out, they would be severely punished. Liu Zioxi was already familiar with these things. In one morning, all the preliminary preparations in Villa 17 were ready, and employees could be recruited. Wheel and Home Community Villa, Building 16, Restaurant. This is my last meal here. I will say goodbye to you in the afternoon. Jin Ke said a few words to everyone. Chen Wei and Liu Zioxi had not yet told other employees that he was going to set up his own business. Where are you going? Zhu Shu asked Jin Ke. Where is the master going? Chen Yang also asked Jin Ke. The studio has promoted him to director yesterday. He is going to set up his own business and go to another place to serve as a mentor for new employees. Chen Wei announced the news on behalf of Jin Ke. No way? Promoted to director? It's not surprising. He has reached the level of strength. It doesn't matter if you leave. But won't we be able to see Xue'er? Such a big news. Why tell us now? Everyone who was having lunch was immediately shocked after hearing the news. I can't bear to leave you too. I hesitated for a long time to make this decision. Jin Ke looked very apologetic. He poached my girlfriend, and Zioxi will go with him. Chen Wei added a few more words. I told you. How could Zioxi bear to let him go? I think she will be with him forever. Together. Everyone started to make a noise after hearing this. We are really lucky. The mentor we met is a gifted master, and the partner next to us is also a gifted master. Zhu Shu was very emotional. They were promoted to director and mentor within less than 3 months of entering the industry. Alas! Why am I such a loser? Yu Gang was also very emotional. When you say that, where can I put my face? I came in with him. Look at him. Then look at me. I think I should hang myself. Liu Zhu spoke. Don't use it for me before you commit suicide. Otherwise it will be a waste. Qin Heiji persuaded Liu Zhu a few words. Get lost. Liu Zhu pinched Qin Heiji's arm fiercely, causing Qin Heiji to scream in pain. There was all kinds of laughter during lunch. After lunch, Liu Zioxi hugged Xue'er and prepared to leave in Chen Wei's car with Jin Ke. Brother, although we can still see each other every day in the game, we still feel a little bad when you leave like this. The main thing is, we can't see Xue'er anymore. Zhu Shu said goodbye to Jin Ke. I can't bear to leave Sister Zioxi. Qin Heiji was heartbroken, and then he got a roll of the eyes from Liu Zioxi. How far is it from here? Come back often to visit. Liu Zhu's eyes were red, and she looked like she was about to cry. Go to be a mentor for others. But don't forget us brothers. Director Chen is not in the base, and we want to live a few more days. It all depends on you. Yu Gang also said a few words to Jin Ke. It's quite far from here. It spans most of the city, and it takes at least 2 or 3 hours to drive on the road. It's not that easy to come and see you. Jin Ke looked very regretful. Everyone said goodbye reluctantly, and finally it was time to separate. Jin Ke and Luo Ye got in the car with Xue'er in their arms. Chen Wei sat in the driver's seat, closed the car door, and Jin Ke waved to everyone outside the villa again. No matter how far you are, come back often to visit. Yuzu's eyes finally shed tears, and the eyes of others were also a little red. I will. Jin Ke still had a smile on his face. Where are you going? I'll set the navigation route. Chen Wei took out his mobile phone and asked Jin Ke, go over there. Jin Ke pointed in the direction of Villa 17. Go through the back door of the community. Chen Wei was a little surprised, but he still stepped on the accelerator and arrived at the door of Villa 17. Stop! 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 We're here! Jin Ke shouted a few times in a hurry. We're here? Where are we? Chen Wei was confused and stepped on the brakes in a hurry. We're in my jurisdiction. Jin Ke opened the car door and got out of the car. Luo Ye laughed and got out of the car holding Xue'er. What the hell? Chen Wei was stunned for a while, and saw Jin Ke and Luo Ye walked to the door of Villa 17 together and opened the door of the villa, and then he suddenly realized something. The people standing at the door of Villa 16 who were feeling sad were also a little surprised after seeing this scene, and hurriedly ran over. Welcome everyone to my territory, Villa 17 of Wheel and Home Community. Jin Ke made a gesture of invitation to everyone. As a result, Chen Wei threw him to the ground with a tiger pounce, and everyone rushed over to pull his face, pinch his flesh, and tickle him. In the afternoon, Jin Ke started recruiting people. There are two ways to recruit people. You can entrust the studio to help recruit people, or you can recruit people yourself. Jin Ke tried his own way of recruiting people. There are two modes of recruiting people by yourself. One is random recruitment, and the other is custom search mode recruitment. The system suggested that Jin Ke enter the game cabin to operate, and prompted that it would be more convenient to operate. Jin Ke followed the system's advice, entered the game cabin, and turned on the mentor system in his field of vision. First tried the random recruitment mode. After the random recruitment was turned on, Jin Ke's field of vision flickered, and finally locked on a target, a girl named Zhang Mengdai. Do you want to display the target's location? The system prompted. Yes. Jin Ke confirmed with his mind. A map appeared at the edge of Jin Ke's vision, showing the specific location of the recruitment target Zhang Mengdai, somewhere in the urban area of Huang City. More than 20 minutes drive from the Wheel and Home Community. Do you want to display the target's real-time status? The system prompted again. Yes. After Jin Ke confirmed, a screen appeared on the other side of his vision, showing a 17 or 18-year-old girl wearing very little clothes, lying on the bedside playing with her mobile phone. Next to her was a girl a few years older than her, wearing more revealing clothes. Oh my god, this is also possible? Jin Ke was stunned. Chapter 235 Empathy. Do you want to display the target's mobile phone screen? The system popped up a prompt again. Yes. After Jin Ke confirmed, Zhang Mengdai's mobile phone screen appeared in his field of vision. She was playing a mobile game called Honor of Kings. I lost again. I'm so angry. Zhang Mengdai frowned, with a depressed expression on her face. There's nothing I can do. The two of us are too strong. We always match very weak teammates, and 9 out of 10 times we encounter AFK players. The girl next to her replied to Zhang Mengdai. Her name is Bo He, and she is Zhang Mengdai's cousin. AFK players are the most annoying, but the most annoying thing is the matching mode. After winning streaks, they deliberately let us lose streak. Zhang Mengdai continued to be depressed. You have successfully hacked into Zhang Mengdai's mobile phone. Do you want to send her a recruitment message? The system popped up a prompt again. Yes. Jin Ke confirmed. Please select the style of the recruitment message, or use the custom mode. The system popped up a prompt. Jin Ke chose custom. Zhang Mengdai was talking to Bo He when a stranger's message suddenly popped up on QQ. Do you want to understand the meaning of life? Do you want to truly live? What's going on? Zhang Mengdai muttered to himself, and then opened the dialog box with Jin Ke. Do you want to understand the meaning of life? Do you want to truly live? Jin Ke sent it again. Are you bored? Zhang Mengdai typed in voice, and then sent it in text form. In fact, the world we live in is just a very low-level virtual world. If you want to truly live, want to live with dignity, want to know what the real world is like, you can contact me. or you can come to me directly. My address is Building 17, Whelan Home Villa Community. Jin continued to make up recruitment language, and then observed Zhang Mengdai's reaction. I wonder who the person who recruited him was. Was it someone from the studio or his mentor Chen Wei? It is very likely that he was secretly observing him like this. I didn't expect that the studio's technology was so advanced. Or maybe it was simply a supernatural power. Ha 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 ha. I have a relative who lives in Whelan Home Community. Do you believe that I will really come to find you? Zhang Mengdai typed in voice and sent a long string of text. Welcome. I was originally inviting you to come and see the real world. Jin Ke replied, this guy is really interesting. Look at the chat messages I have with him. Zhang Mengdai handed the phone screen to her cousin Bo He next to her to take a look. Liar. Looking for Yi King. Ignore him. Bo He replied to Zhang Mengdai while picking her toe. You dead liar, stinky Liu Mang. Zhang Mengdai cursed Jin Ke a few words. Fortunately, Jin Ke saw everything that happened over there. Otherwise it would be difficult to understand why the other party suddenly cursed. Scold me? Then I really have to invite you in to torture you. Jin Ke narrowed his eyes. You are very good at playing Honor of Kings, right? Do you dare to play a game with me? If you win, I will not pursue the matter of you cursing me for no reason just now. But if you lose, you must accept my invitation and come here to see the real world. Jin Ke proposed to Zhang Mengdai. How does he know that I am very good at playing Honor of Kings? Zhang Mengdai widened her eyes and looked at Bo He next to her. It must be someone who knows you. He added you with a strange account and teased you. Bo replied to Zhang Mengdai, then grabbed a biscuit from the table next to him with his hand that had just scratched his toes and stuffed it into his mouth. This girl is so beautiful. She looks very bright when she wears neat clothes during the day. Right? I didn't expect she has such a hobby. Jin Ke was speechless. Okay, but if you lose, you have to send me a clear front photo, otherwise, you will have instant noodles without noodles in the future, only seasoning packets, which will be so salty. Zhang Mengdai replied to Jin Ke, okay, see you in the game. Jin Ke called up the virtual Xiaomi phone, and then he remembered that there was no Honor of Kings game installed in it. He only installed Honor of Kings on his own phone, but the next moment, the virtual Xiaomi phone had automatically entered the interface of Honor of Kings, set up a room and invited Zhang Mengdai. This supernatural power, I surrender. Jin Ke was powerless to complain. When the park started, Jin Ke found that he could control the virtual phone in front of him with his mind, and manipulate the character inside to fight Zhang Mengdai. The few simple buttons in Honor of Kings cannot be compared with Horror City. The characters in it do not need to be operated, whether it is displacement or skill release. As soon as Jin Ke's mind moves, the character will immediately follow his mind to move or release skills. Jin Ke, who was originally a game master, has improved his game level by several levels under the control of his mind. Zhang Mengdai's Honor of Kings is indeed good, but in front of such a Jin Ke, he was suppressed everywhere and had no power to fight back at all, and soon lost a game. Zhang Mengdai was not convinced and changed heroes to fight again. In the end, he still lost. After seeing this scene, Bo replaced Zhang Mengdai and used his favorite hero to fight, and was also defeated by Jin Ke. He is really a master, so powerful. Bo was convinced after playing a game. Hey, master, we are over, you have to take us to Xinyao. Zhang Mengdai asked Jin Ke. No problem, I'll take you guys during my break. By the way, you guys? You and who? Jin Ke realized his slip of the tongue and added a few more words. My cousin, a master at playing pesticide. Okay, you guys come together. Jin Ke smiled proudly. Finally, he tricked two of them to come. After they come, they can't do anything about it. After playing Horror City, do they still have time to play pesticide? It's just, why do I feel guilty? It would be better to leave things like recruitment to the studio. Otherwise, I feel like a liar, or a pyramid scheme leader. It's better not to do things like cheating people yourself. Forget it. You guys better not come. I don't have time to take you. Jin Ke sent a message to Zhang Mengdai. Sending failed. Warning. Once a text or voice recruitment invitation is sent, it cannot be withdrawn. Otherwise, it will be punished according to the violation of the tutor regulations. The system popped up a red warning. Damn. Is this considered a recruitment invitation? Jin Ke slapped his forehead and quickly checked the tutor regulations. It turned out that there was such a clause. I've trapped 2 people myself. There's nothing I can do. This is the only way. I don't want to die. I hope they come here just to have a look and not really join. Jin Ke sighed. He finally empathized with Chen Wei's conflicting feelings. After finishing recruiting Zhang Mengdai and Bo He, Jin Ke tried the custom search mode again. He subconsciously searched for a few words in the custom mode. Yunfeng City, Yunfeng No. 1 Middle School, Xue'er's mother, Luo Ye. Of course, he didn't want to recruit her. As long as he didn't send her a text or voice recruitment invitation, he just wanted to lock onto her and see how she was doing. Chapter 236 The nightmare has just begun. The target has been recruited. Please change to another target. The system popped up a prompt. Fuck. Jin cursed when he saw this prompt. She is also playing the game Horror City? Who recruited her? Jin Ke exited the game cabin and leaned against the head of the bed in a daze, his heart in turmoil. After a while, he sent an email to the studio, asking to check who recruited Luo Ye and where the specific address was. No authority to view. The studio quickly responded, then what level or requirements do I need to reach to view it? Jin Ke sent another email. It's not that you don't have the right to view it, but the studio doesn't have the right to view it. The person who recruited her has higher authority than the studio. The studio quickly responded again. Higher authority than the studio? Jin Ke was completely stunned. The deeper he understood this game, the more he felt that the studio was powerful and omnipotent. Now there are people with higher authority than the studio? Jin Ke didn't recruit people himself anymore. He gave all the remaining places to the studio and entrusted the studio to recruit people for him. Excuse me, does the master live here? Zhang Mengdai and Bo appeared at the door of Villa No. 17. Master, are you referring to our director Jin? Liu Xiaoxi received the 2 of them while holding Xue'er in her arms. What a cute baby. Can I touch your face? Zhang Mengdai and Bo's attention immediately focused on Xue'er in Liu Xiaoxi's arms. Are you looking for director Jin? Liu Xiaoxi finally remembered the business after Zhang Mengdai and Bo teased Xue'er for a long time. He said that we should come here to see the real world, and gave us a small game to do some kind of assessment. We all got S-level evaluations, and then he gave us a download address for the game. This game is pretty good. The graphics are very beautiful, but it's so troublesome to register. It took me half an hour to create a character and enter the game. Zhang Mengdai replied to Liu Xiaoxi. Have you all passed the assessment, created your characters and entered the game? Jin came downstairs after hearing the noise. He remembered that he had not assessed Zhang Mengdai and the others, let alone given them the download address. It seemed that the studio had overstepped its authority again. These 2 people could not escape now. Could it be that from the time the system randomly selected Zhang Mengdai, all this process was irreversible? Are you the person who found me on QQ? Zhang Mengdai looked at Jin Ke. Yes. Jin Ke nodded. I don't know you. How did you find me? And how do you know I play Honor of Kings? Zhang Mengdai looked at Jin Ke suspiciously. I don't know either. It seems that you took the initiative to add me as a friend? And I saw you online in Honor of Kings. Jin Ke lied a few times. I took the initiative to add you as a friend? Zhang Mengdai was stunned. Forget it. Let's ask him about the game. How do you play this game? It looks fun, but there is no beginner guide, so I don't know what to do. Bo handed the phone to Jin Ke. Well, let me see. Jin Ke looked at Bo's phone screen. It was obvious that she and Zhang Mengdai did not appear in the Qingtai mountain base where he was, but in a place that Jin Ke had never seen before. The decoration style of the entire base was completely different from that of the Qingtai mountain base. The mentor and the new employees were not together, and I didn't know why the studio arranged it this way. Since you have already installed this game on your phone, you are now employees of our studio. You can work here. Your job is to play this mobile game. Food and accommodation are provided, and the daily salary is 300. Jin thought about it and preached a few words to the 2. Really? There is such a good thing? Zhang Mengdai widened her eyes. It's true. If you don't believe it, the daily salary can be paid in advance. Jin felt more and more like a small leader of a pyramid scheme. Others' pyramid schemes are to cheat money, but his pyramid schemes are to cheat lives. Are you not a human trafficker? Bo looked at Jin Ke with suspicion. If you are worried, you can leave at any time. We won't stop you. Jin Ke pointed at the gate. You will definitely not do anything now. Aren't we provided with food and accommodation? If you do, you will drug the food. When we wake up, we will have been sold to the mountain valley. Bo snorted coldly. I thought so when I first came in. Jin Ke spread his hands. Why do you pay 300 yuan a day for playing games? Zhang Mingdai asked Jin Ke a question. I am now at the director level, and the studio pays me 2,000 a day. I have been working in the studio for 3 months, and I never ask why I get paid. Jin Ke answered Zhang Mingdai. He now regrets taking the mentor task. He, who doesn't talk much, has to say a lot more. Fortunately, the character can hang up in the base. Otherwise it would be too uneconomical to waste time on guiding newcomers. You are so young. Are you 20 years old? Bo looked at Jin Ke again. Anyway, I've already told you about the studio's treatment. If you don't believe me, I can't do anything about it. You decide whether to stay or go. Jin Ke regretted that he shouldn't have gone to recruit people in person. If he had asked the studio to recruit people, there wouldn't be so much trouble. Excuse me. Is this the Jingjai studio? 3 girls came in together outside the door, standing by the door and asking into the hall. It was obvious that they were recruited by Jin Ke's studio. Yes, Liu Zioxi went over. Wow, what a cute little baby. The 3 girls focused their attention on Xue'er. Why are they all girls? Is it to maintain a gender balance with Building 16? Jin Ke felt a headache looking outside the door. What Jin Ke didn't expect was that his nightmare had just begun. At noon the next day, the studio was very efficient, including the 2 recruited by Jin Ke. 10 places had already been recruited. Jin Ke's 2 couldn't say they were recruited by themselves. He just chatted for a few words and was coaxed and tricked into coming in by the studio. Looking at the chattering girls in the room, Jin Ke wanted to curse in his heart. He deeply suspected that the studio did it on purpose, because these new employees, in addition to being all girls, are all very beautiful, and even not much worse than Luo Ye. There are indeed more men around Building 16. But at least there is Liu Zhu. What the hell is going on here? Is someone in the studio deliberately messing with him? What kind of message did you receive? It popped up suddenly on QQ. I played a small game first, and then told me how much I would get per day, with food and accommodation provided. Me too. At first I thought it was a pyramid scheme, but later I actually paid the money. Isn't it really human trafficking? Why do you recruit so many girls? Yes, there is not a single man. The girls chattered in various ways, and it seemed that they never stopped. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 237. Avoid the reality. How can you talk like that? What do you mean there's not a single man here? Jin Ke slapped the table hard, indicating that as the director, he was very angry. Haha, I forgot that the instructor is a man. Director Jin, can I call you Ak? Ak is a good name. Ak, why are you sitting so far away? Sit closer. Ak, I'm a fashion designer. The clothes you're wearing don't suit you. Let me help you choose one when we get back to the mall. Ak, you'll look very handsome if you have long hair. I used to be a hairstylist. Ak, your lips are a little dry. Let me put some lip balm on you. If you want to kiss him, just say so. What lip balm? Ak, Zai, you are responsible for explaining the studio's rules and procedures to them. I'm going back to my room. Jin Ke said a few words to Liu Zai, picked up Xue'er, and turned to walk towards the stairs. The instructor is angry? Why is he ignoring us? Haha. He doesn't seem to be interested in girls. No, he was scared away by us. You are a bunch of idiots. Ak is a woman. Everyone, be quiet. I will tell you about the studio's rules and the onboarding process. Liu Zioxi shouted to everyone. The scene finally quieted down. Second floor, master bedroom. Can I resign? Jin Ke sent an email to the studio. If you resign, your character will be converted into an NPC. The studio replied quickly. I mean, Can I resign as an instructor? Jin continued to send emails. You have signed the instructor contract. You can't do that before you have trained 15 qualified newcomers. What kind of people are you recruiting? Are you sure you are not making fun of me? I can't be an instructor. Jin Ke sent another email. They are all targets randomly selected by the system. The studio replied quickly. Random? Do you think I'm stupid? Jin Ke was furious. According to the system's evaluation, you are not too stupid. Your intelligence attribute is 12.53, which is above the average level of normal people. The studio continued to reply quickly. Don't be so evasive. I just want to know if someone is deliberately messing with me. Jin Ke was relentless. Please don't ask such boring questions. Repeated inquiries will no longer be responded to. The studio has limited resources. If you continue to send harassing emails to the studio, your daily salary for 3 days will be deducted. Fuck. Letting the studio recruit for you will reduce the psychological burden, but this situation is indeed very distressing. Recruiting by yourself will also bring a certain psychological burden. However, in order to avoid the studio taking over the job and recruiting all 15 positions as female employees, Jin Ke decided to recruit the remaining positions by himself. This time, it will not be random, and it will be searched according to the specified search conditions. How to determine the target? Jin Ke decided to read the news and find inspiration from it. Although he was very busy with game work, Jin Ke still took a certain amount of time to read the news every day. Otherwise he would be too out of touch with society. After a casual search, Jin Ke saw a shocking news. Ms. Who lives in a certain residential area, was taking her 3-month-old granddaughter Tongdong out for a walk when a pear fell from the sky and hit Tongdong on the head. Although she was sent to the hospital in time, she is still unconscious. Tongdong's father, Mr. Zhu, told reporters that their family moved to the current residential area a year ago because they were attracted by the better management of the residential area. Tongdong is the only child of him and his wife. She was born last year and is now more than 4 months old. After the child was born, she was still too young, so she seldom went out. Yesterday, because the weather was good, she asked her grandmother to take her out for a walk. Unexpectedly, such a thing happened. At that time, the child's grandmother had just walked downstairs of a high-rise building in the residential area when a pear fell from the building. The pear broke directly after hitting the child's head, which shows that the force was very strong. After the pear hit Tongdong, she lost consciousness immediately, but her body was still struggling. Soon a large bump swelled up on the left side of Tongdong's head. Nearby residents immediately called the police, and the 120 medical staff who arrived quickly sent Tongdong to the hospital. In the on-site video provided by Mr. Zhu to reporters, we can see that Tongdong's grandmother and a property staff member who rushed over were holding the unconscious Tongdong. Surrounded by many citizens, Tongdong's grandmother was still pinching Tongdong's philtrum, trying to wake her up. Mr. Zhu said that he thought it was just a concussion at the time and didn't expect it to be so serious. After the child got into trouble, they rushed to send the child to the hospital as soon as possible and didn't think about looking for the person who threw the pear, but judging from the location, it must have been thrown from the high-rise building next door. Mr. Zhu's family lives on the 7th floor of this building, and the whole building has a total of 12 floors. From the diagnosis certificate issued by the Children's Hospital, Tongdong suffered severe craniocerebral injury, including comminuted depressed fracture of the parietal bone and delayed intracranial hematoma, accompanied by extremely severe anemia, traumatic shock, pleural effusion and other symptoms. Mr. Zhu said that the girl Tongdong has been in the ICU for a week now. Usually, the family can only wait outside the ICU ward and can only see their daughter once every other day. The doctor said that even if she wakes up in the future, Tongdong's right brain function will be completely lost. Now they only hope that the function of her left brain can be preserved. The child's mother and grandmother were devastated and cried every day. Reporters learned that after Tongdong was sent to the Children's Hospital, he had undergone operations such as intracranial hematoma removal, bone fragment removal, and implantation of an intracranial pressure monitoring device, which cost more than 100,000 yuan. According to the doctor's preliminary estimate, because of lifelong disability, The subsequent correction and nursing costs may be as high as 1 million. Dr. Kim from the Capital Institute of Pediatrics said that the bones in the head of a baby who is just a few months old are not fully developed, and the pair fell at an extremely fast speed, so the trauma is more serious than that of an adult. After the incident, the property staff of Mr. Zhu's community also went to his home to express their regards and cooperated with the police to retrieve the surveillance, but the surveillance angle was level, so at first it was not possible to capture which floor the pair fell from. After the incident, the police immediately intervened in the investigation, but no useful information was extracted from the pair. The residents on each floor were checked one by one, and no one admitted that they threw the pair down. The investigation is currently at a stalemate. The police said that the country has no legislation on serious injuries caused by objects thrown from high places. Even if the person who threw the objects is found, he cannot be held criminally responsible. The victim can only take legal action to claim compensation from the person who threw the objects. In the current situation where the person who threw the objects cannot be found, we can only suggest that Mr. Zhu take the case to court and name all the users above him as defendants. The reporter once again appeals to the public that throwing objects from high places is extremely dangerous. Chapter 238, Wealthy. How can there be such a scum? Throwing things downstairs at random ruined the life of a baby girl, and also ruined an originally happy family. It's so damn abominable. Jin Ke was so angry watching the news that he immediately added the name of Mr. Zhu's neighborhood and the content of the news photo, as well as keywords such as throwing pears and hitting tong tong, into the search conditions, and then turned on the screen recording function of his mobile phone. A picture appeared in Jin Ke's field of vision. You can't throw the pear down even if you don't want to eat it. Is this a problem? A woman in her 30s was whispering to her son, a 14-year-old boy. I don't want to eat pears. Why do you have to force me to eat it? Are you annoying? The boy was chatting with his friends on QQ, with an impatient look on his face. You must remember, no matter who comes to ask, don't admit it. If you admit it, we will be in trouble. The woman told the boy a few more words. I know. The boy continued to be impatient. Don't tell anyone about this. The woman told the boy a few more words. I know. You're so ridiculous. You're spoiling him too much, and he's becoming more and more disobedient now. A middle-aged man whispered to the woman. I don't love my son, and you spoil him too, right? Last time he peed on the elevator button. Didn't you fight with others for him? The woman replied to the man. I only have this one son. I watched him grow up little by little. How could I let him be bullied? The man chuckled. Then don't blame me, wife. Check the news quickly. They want to sue all of us. It will still be very troublesome. With such a serious injury, the doctor estimates that the medical expenses and subsequent treatment will cost at least 1 million yuan, and maybe each of us will have to share tens of thousands of yuan. The man saw something in the news on his mobile phone and quickly showed it to his wife. This family is really sick in the head. It's only 4 months old, and it's smashed like this. Can't they just trap it up in a bag and find a place to throw it away? At worst, they can have another one, and send it to the hospital. Isn't that hurting others and themselves? The woman looked unhappy. Yeah, how could we be so unlucky to have such a sick neighbor? The man was also very depressed. This house is rented anyway, so you should quickly transfer the money and valuables in your home to my mother's house. Even if the court orders all users to pay compensation together, we will not have a penny. What can they do to us? The woman explained to the man. Well, this is a good idea. Now there are so many people who refuse to pay after the court's judgment, and no one has really paid. We will move out when the lease is over and see how they can ask us for compensation. The man nodded. Seeing this scene and hearing the conversation between the family, Jin Ke was so angry that he almost choked to death on the spot. As expected, what kind of parents give birth to what kind of children? How can this be human? It's just a bunch of beasts. My son grew up little by little and doted on him, but other people's children are not the love of my heart. After committing a crime, he only thought about shirking responsibility and evading punishment. He never thought about how the victim's family felt now. This video must be sent out to expose the ugly faces of this family to the public. However, even if the police find them, the existing laws still cannot punish them. There is no way to make the boy who threw the pears be sentenced to prison and pay for his evil deeds, nor can it make up for the double serious physical and mental injuries suffered by the victimized baby girl and the victim's family. According to the words and deeds of this family just now, they may even default on their debts and not give any compensation to the victim's family at all. Killing such beasts is too cheap. The boy threw pears and injured the baby girl, but it was not illegal and could not be sentenced. On the other hand, if the baby girl's family knew that he threw pears and injured the baby girl, they would retaliate impulsively and smash the boy's head in half, and they would definitely be convicted of intentional injury and sentenced. Equal harm cannot be treated equally. Some things really cannot be fair. Jin Ke remembered what Yuan Qiang said to him: the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. Others cannot find the person who threw the objects, but he can. Others cannot punish these three beasts, but he can. This is his ability and also his responsibility. Do not do to others what you do not want others to do to you. If you cause others to be disabled for life, then let him do hard labor for life. Then, let his doting parents cry to death while guarding his empty body. Jin Ke immediately began to recruit the 14-year-old boy. Of course, he did not really recruit him, but recruited him to create a character, and then used the authority in his hands to turn him into an NPC, just like Luo Ye, who became an empty body in the real world and served lifelong hard labor in the game world. The employees recruited by Jin Ke were not in the same base as him. Jin Ke could not personally torment this harmful boy, but he would let other employees replace him and go to the place where the boy served hard labor every day to torture him in various ways, so that he would truly understand that committing a crime would require paying the corresponding price. The QQ that Jin Ke used to recruit people was not his own QQ, but the safe QQ provided by the studio. No records would be left in the other party's QQ afterwards, so he was not worried that the police would come to him to investigate after the boy got into trouble. The 14-year-old boy was really easy to fool. Jin Ke used the studio's inherent routine to top up 300 yuan on his QQ account and told him that he could get a daily salary of 300 yuan just by playing mobile games. He immediately agreed to join the studio, and then downloaded the game, installed it, registered an account, and logged into the game step by step according to Jin Ke's requirements. After confirming that the boy's character had been successfully established and logged into the game, half an hour later, Jin Ke submitted an application to the studio, saying that the boy had resigned and asked to be transformed into an NPC. Then he added a few more clauses, requiring that the boy be forced to do the most difficult, tiring, dirty, smelly, and unbearable hard labor in the base, and that it could not be changed for life. The studio quickly approved and agreed to Jin Ke's application. If the boy resigned and was transformed into an NPC, the studio would confiscate the reward Jin Ke received when recruiting the boy, and impose a fine of 2,000 yuan in the real world and a deduction of 200 energy points in the game world on Jin Ke. Justice was served, and Jin Ke felt that the money was well spent. Moreover, the 10 employees he had recruited earlier had already brought him 50,000 yuan and 5,000 energy points as rewards. Now Jin Ke was wealthy and didn't care about this little money. Isn't the purpose of life to be happy and to have clear thoughts? If you have the ability but don't promote good and eliminate evil, don't maintain justice and fairness in the world, and can't have clear thoughts, what's the point of having this ability? Chapter 239, Losing for Sure. The quarterly inter-base tour of the Green Plain Shelter officially kicked off. The full name of the base that Fan Wenji is in charge of is the King Tai Mountain Newcomer Training Base. Its main function is to train newcomers and provide talents for the Green Plain Shelter. Among all the bases under the jurisdiction of the Green Plain Shelter, the Newcomer Training Center of the King Tai Mountain Base is the largest and has the most complete training facilities. Of course, after a few years of development, most of these bases that were originally given various functions will become comprehensive bases after development. In order to encourage the various divisions and bases under the jurisdiction of the shelter to work hard and to gather the hearts of the people in each division and base, the shelter will hold a tour every quarter. The ranking of the tour is also one of the important assessment indicators of the shelter for the operation of each base, which is related to the allocation of various materials and professional personnel in the base in the next quarter. After the lottery, The Qingtai Mountain newcomer training base was drawn to play against the Mang agricultural base in the first round. Luo Yuan's accidental death made Fan Wenji very distressed these days. In the past 2 years, the elite team of the base, composed of Fan Wenji, Luo Ye, Yao Chengzu, Ran Maqiang, and Li Jing, has been working more and more perfectly with each other. Especially this year, they have twice made it into the top 4 among the dozen bases under the jurisdiction of the shelter, which has won a lot of material support for the Qingtai Mountain base and brought a great opportunity for the Qingtai Mountain base to develop. It can be said that the 5 people are indispensable to achieve such good results. Without Luo Ye, if Yuan Qiang, the second assassin of the base, is replaced, the level of the entire team will be directly reduced from the first tier to the third tier among the dozen bases. The 5 members of the elite team of the tour are like the 5 boards that make up a wooden barrel. As long as one board is short, the water that the barrel can hold will be measured by the shortest board. Under normal circumstances, Luo Ye undertakes the tasks of jungle, counter-jungle and support in the tour. Luo Ye has a super high efficiency in clearing monsters, fierce output firepower, and excellent cooperation awareness. He often turns the tide and wins unexpectedly at critical moments. In the crucial battle of the last quarters tour, he even managed to get a pentakill. After Luo Ye's death, the members of the base elite group have been conducting simulated closed training in the past few days, with Yuan Qiang temporarily replacing Luo Ye. From the results of the closed training, after Yuan Qiang replaced Luo Ye, his efficiency in clearing monsters in the jungle was only about 20% of Luo Ye's, which prevented other members from developing in time. In addition, Yuan Qiang's output was not enough, and the support he could provide to other players was limited. Once he was targeted by the opponent, he was basically destined to be killed instantly. It was difficult to be as elusive as Luo Ye, release a bunch of skills, and output high firepower. Even if he could not completely kill the opponent, he could at least retreat unscathed. Although Yuan Qiang is now far from the requirements of the elite group, Fan Wenji has no better choice. After all, under Luo Ye, Yuan Qiang is already the strongest assassin in the base. I have a suggestion. After the last training of the elite group, Yao Chengzu made an excuse to send Yuan Qiang away and proposed it to the other 3. What suggestion? Fan Wenji looked at Yao Chengzu. The Mang base team is in the top 8 of all bases. Their assassin Yun Fiang is ranked in the top 6 of the entire shelter, second only to Luo Ye. Speed and multi-control are his advantages. If there is no strong assassin to contain Yun Fiang, we will definitely lose. Yao Chengzu mentioned Yun Fiang with a fearful expression on his face. As a mage, the most troublesome thing is Yun Fiang, an assassin with speed and many control skills. Yao Chengzu still remembers the last battle with the Mang base. Because of the professional restraint, he was targeted and controlled to death by Yun Fiang several times before he could figure out the situation. With Luo Ye, the jungle speed is higher than the opponent. Luo Ye even has enough time to counter jungle in the opponent's position, which greatly suppressed Yun Fiang's development. When King Mushan base and Mang base met in the last tour, they relied on the advantages accumulated bit by bit in terms of economy to win a difficult victory. Now, without Luo Ye, Yun Fiang, who is not suppressed, will become a nightmare for the mage Yao Chengzu and the shooter Li Jing. Once the team loses the output of the mage and the shooter, the result is predictable. Master, is your words useful? Who among us doesn't know this? Tank Ran Maki inside. If we take Yuan Qiang to fight, we will definitely lose. No one denies my point of view, right? Yao Chengzu looked around at Fan Wenji, Ran Maqiang, and Li Jing. The 3 of them were silent and sighed. Since we are sure to lose, I suggest giving a very promising new student a chance. Even if we are sure to lose this game, it can at least play a role in training newcomers. Yao Chengzu continued. Who? Fan Wenji raised his head. Jin Ke, the new student who escaped from the Zerg-invaded dormitory area number 23 and survived the darkness of the night. Although his basic attributes are a bit low now and he doesn't have much combat experience, he has an indomitable spirit. We should not only consider this quarters tour, but also prepare for the next quarters tour. Even if we use him in this tour, we will definitely lose. but at least he has the opportunity to exercise and grow rapidly. Maybe next quarter, he will be able to take charge and make up for our shortcomings. If we can achieve this goal, it means that our losses in this quarter are not in vain. If we continue to use Yuan Kayang's potential is already there. Even in the next quarter, we will still lose and there will be no hope. Yao Chengzu ended his suggestion. Jin Ke didn't want people to know about his dual profession. Yao Chengzu had made a promise to Jin Ke, so he wouldn't say it here. New student, old Yao, are you kidding? Tank ran Maki and looked surprised. It's definitely not going to work. Yuan Kayang can still hold on. If we seize the opportunity, we might have a chance to turn the tables. Replacing that new student is like giving up completely. I don't agree. Shooter Li Jing also expressed his opinion. Old fan? Yao Chengzu looked at Fan Wenji. Master, your idea of training newcomers is good, but I agree more with Li Jing's statement. As long as there is a glimmer of hope, we can't give up. If Yuan Kayang goes, we might have a chance to turn the tables. What you said about letting that new students go is indeed the same as giving up voluntarily. I can't accept your suggestion. Fan Wenji was silent for a while and then answered Yao Chengzu. Okay, I respect the choice of the majority. Yao Chengzu couldn't insist after hearing what Fan Wenji said. Chapter 240, Mouth Cannon. At the beginning of the tour, all the contestants gathered in the Green Plains shelter in the various bases under its jurisdiction for a tour competition. But later, after the virtual stadiums of the shelter and its subordinate bases were all built, the tour no longer toured between the shelter and the base. After all, transportation was too inconvenient. Now all the competitions are in the virtual form of real-time communication. Although they are no longer on tour, the previous name is still used. In the tours of the past 2 years, all contestants do not need to leave the base, but enter the virtual park field connected to the shelter. If the audience from each base wants to watch the tour, they only need to wear a virtual helmet to immerse themselves in the grand event of the game similar to that of the real stadium. In order to make the game more interesting and make the players more excited during the game, the virtual stadium adopts a form similar to that of a football field. After entering the virtual stadium, all the audience have their own seat numbers. Although the audience is divided into several areas in the stands, the audience from the 2 bases are mixed and arranged to sit together. While cheering for their own base, they can also show off or ridicule the audience from the neighboring base. Fighting is impossible. After all, it is a virtual arena, and you can't hit the opponent. Half an hour before the start of the tour, the virtual arena was already full. The entertainment stars of the shelter sang or danced before the game. Many songs and dances were in line with the real world, but no NPC on the scene felt out of place, and the players would not question anything. For people who are extremely lacking in entertainment activities in the game world, the quarterly tour is like a festival. Watching the elite group of their base and the opponent fighting on the field, cheering for their own team, they have a sense of belonging and honor to the base imperceptibly. I heard that Luo Ye from your King Tai Mountain base died in an accident. Well, he secretly set up a secret laboratory outside, and was killed by alien insects. Then what's the point of your King Tai Mountain base fighting? Just admit defeat. Who said we can't do it without Luo Ye? We still have Yuan Kayang. He will beat you just the same. Who's Yuan Kayang? I've never heard of him. To be honest, more than half of the credit for your King Tai Mountain base's advancement into the top 4 goes to Luo Ye. Now that he's gone, King Tai Mountain base is doomed to fail. Bullshit. With the strength of your Mang base, our King Tai Mountain base only needs to send 4 people to beat you. Just brag. Without Luo Ye, we only have Yun Fiang here and can get pentakills non-stop. What the hell are you killing? Our supervisor Fan is one of the top 4 fighters in the entire shelter. Just stand there and let Yun Fiang kill him? Before the game started, the spectators from both bases had already started talking nonsense. Some spectators, in order to make their words visible to the whole audience, did not hesitate to spend energy points to buy hot air balloon ribbons and write what they wanted to say on them so that everyone in the arena could see it. Luo Ye's death and absence became the hottest topic of discussion in this tour. After Luo Ye's death, Yun Fiang, the assassin of Mang base, became the focus of the whole audience. All the spectators, whether they were experts or not, knew that the key to this battle was on the assassin Yun Fiang. Maybe, without Luo Ye's suppression, the assassin Yun Fiang could achieve a pentakill, become the MVP of the whole game, and become the most dazzling star in this round of the tour. The tour was about to begin, but something went wrong at the King Mo's mountain base. In addition to the 5 elite members sent by each side, the tour also had to arrange a number of new trainees or ordinary employees with a 10-point range between 120 and 140 to enter the venue as cannon fodder. Every 5 minutes, 9 cannon fodders were sent from their own base, divided into 3 routes, upper, middle and lower, and headed towards the opponent's base at the speed of the route specified by the light spot. The role of these cannon fodders is to rush to the front and bear the attack of the turret when the members of the elite group attack the opponent's turret, so as to gain the opportunity for the elite group members to safely destroy the opponent's turret, and also to contain the opponent's elite group members. When there are no members of the elite group on a certain route, they will slightly block the attack of the opponent's elite group members, explore the way for the members of the elite group and provide opportunities for them to rush over to defend. When there are enough cannon fodders, the opponent's turret can be destroyed by the accumulation of numbers without the presence of elite members, and even the crystal column used to determine the victory or defeat in the opponent's space. Cannon fodder can only move along the designated route. After 3 cannon fodders set out from their base, a virtually demarcated circular area will appear around the 3 cannon fodders, unless they encounter the opponent's elite group members or fight with the opponent's cannon fodder. The circular area will continue to move to the area where the opponent's base is located. Just like the pawns in chess, they can only move forward and cannot retreat. The actions of cannon fodders cannot deviate from this designated circular area. Once they leave this virtually demarcated area, they will suffer a blood loss of 5% per second until they return to the circular area or die. The purpose of arranging these cannon fodders to participate in the tour is very simple, so that the new trainees and ordinary employees of these bases can also truly participate in the game, feel the excitement and passion of the game, and motivate them to train harder in the future, and strive to grow into the second-tier elite group members or even the first-tier elite group members of each base. Under normal circumstances, a tour game can be as short as half an hour, and as long as more than 2 hours, with an average duration of about an hour. In this hour or so, the participating bases must arrange at least 12 batches, totaling more than 100 cannon fodders to enter, in order to allow more newcomers or ordinary people to experience the intensity of the game in person. A base staff member can only serve as cannon fodder once in a game. In the middle and late stages of the game, the number of cannon fodders starting at one time on each line will also increase from 3 to 6, and then from 6 to 9, or even 12, to increase the excitement of the game. The basic attributes of cannon fodder are very different from those of elite group members, and they cannot be strengthened by purchasing equipment development through jungle, so it is difficult for cannon fodder to influence the entire game. But the base is still very particular about the arrangement of cannon fodder. After summarizing the experience of several years of the tour, almost all bases have discovered that the cannon fodder of the tank and warrior professions plays the greatest role on the battlefield. When the wind is favorable, the cannon fodder rushes to the front to withstand the artillery fire and provide cover for the high-attack elite group members, allowing them to have enough time to destroy the opponent's turrets. When the wind is unfavorable, the cannon fodder also plays a defensive role by trying to prevent the opponent's elite group members from advancing and destroying their own turrets. These are what the warrior and tank professions are best at. Chapter 241. The tour begins. Someone has calculated that warriors and tanks can usually withstand at least 2 attacks from the elite group, but other professions, such as assassins and shooters, have too little HP. When the opponent's elite group attacks, they are basically killed in one attack by the elite group's super firepower, and they can't block the opponent's attack or buy time for themselves. It seems that there is not much difference between letting the opponent's elite group launch 2 attacks and launching 1 attack, but the accumulation of more than 100 or even more than 200 cannon fodder in the field is a big advantage or disadvantage. The latest batch of new main trainees who can participate in this tour and serve as cannon fodder at the King Mo's mountain base were basically wiped out in the last Zerg invasion of Dormitory Area 23, leaving only 13 trainees including Jin Ke from Building O2 of Dormitory Area 23. Among the more than 150 dead trainees, there are at least 60 tank and warrior professions, together with the other groups of new trainees and ordinary employees with a 10-point range of 120 to 140. The number of cannon fodder should have been enough, but now it is not enough. If we use assassins and shooters as cannon fodder, we will be at a disadvantage. Tank Ran Makian, a member of the elite group responsible for selecting cannon fodder, was very troubled. It's really adding insult to injury. It's so unlucky. Shooter Li Zheng looked depressed. As a long-range shooter, these cannon fodders are crucial to her battle. If there are tank and warrior cannon fodders in front, her survival rate will be greatly increased. If it's a group of small shooters and assassins, they will be killed by the other elite group members in seconds, and then they will come to kill her. There is no other way. We can only choose some assassins and shooters with higher blood volume. Fan Wenji made a quick decision. After the decision was made, assassins or shooters with attributes between 120-140 from other groups of students or new employees who were earlier than Jin Ke and his group were basically selected as cannon fodder. Jin Ke, Zhu Shu, Yu Gang, Chen Yan and other assassins and shooters were called over. After the staff quickly checked their physical attributes, Zhu Shu, Yu Gang and Chen Yang were all selected as cannon fodder. Although Jin Ke had trained his strength for a period of time, his physical attribute was still the lowest among all the new students and new employees. In the end, he was not selected and could only be a spectator in the stands. There was no way. Jin Ke's highest attributes now were will and induction. But will and induction did not seem to be of much help to being cannon fodder, so they were directly ignored. The staff who selected cannon fodder would not check these two attributes at all. The tour started soon. The first item was to choose the venue. According to the convention of the tour mastermind randomly selected a map. Although it was randomly selected, the elite team members of each base were already familiar with these maps, and these maps were similar and would not have much impact on the performance of the game. This time, the map randomly selected was a ruined city. The ruined city was square-inch shape. The birthplaces of the two sides were located in the southwest and northeast corners of the ruined city, connected by a wide road about 2 kilometers long. There were also 2 roads along the edge of the ruined city that led to the other side's base, forming the so-called upper, middle and lower offensive or defensive routes. Each side had a base at the birth point. Once the character died in the virtual game, he would be forced to be teleported back to the base for resurrection. As the game progressed, the time required for the character to be resurrected would become longer and longer. There was a crystal column with hundreds of thousands of HP in each base of the two sides. Once the crystal column was destroyed, it meant losing the game. There was a turret on the top of the base for defense. 100 meters away, there were 3 turrets, upper, middle and lower, which formed a turret array together with the turrets on the top of the base. The powerful defensive firepower ensured that the base could not be easily conquered by the other side when it was defended by the elite team members. There is a turret every few hundred meters on the 3 roads between the 2 bases. The northwest and southeast directions of the abandoned city are crossed by a shallow river beach, which is equivalent to the Chu River and Han River used to distinguish the positions of the 2 sides. The entire map is divided into 2 halves, and it also forms the initial power map of the 2 sides. The cannon fodder participating in the competition can only be equipped with the initial gray clothes provided by the virtual stadium from beginning to end, and cannot be changed during the entire competition. When the 5 members of the elite group just entered the stadium, they could only wear the initial gray clothes provided by the virtual stadium, but the members of the elite group can buy more advanced equipment from the virtual stadium store at any time to improve their strength. For the continuity and excitement of the game, this more advanced equipment does not need to be replaced at a time. Once purchased, it will immediately replace the original low-level equipment on the body. In the abandoned buildings in the city, some wild monsters will pop out from time to time, and there will also be some boss-level monsters. These monsters have their own fixed range of activities. Hunting these monsters can obtain specific buffs and virtual gold coins. Virtual gold coins can be used to buy more advanced equipment from the virtual stadium store. While the 5 members of the elite team are attacking or defending 3 routes, they must also arrange a member to hunt as many wild monsters as possible from the abandoned buildings in the city, so that the members of their own elite team can have enough virtual gold coins to buy more powerful weapons and equipment. It seems that this kind of competition is a competition of strength, but in fact it is a competition of economy. A strong economy allows you to suppress the opponent with the powerful attributes of your equipment when you are not strong enough. Of course, strength is also the basis for ensuring the economy. Only with strong strength can you kill more opponents and gain economic advantages. If the personnel responsible for hunting wild monsters have the opportunity, they will sneak across the river beach and go to the opponent's position on the other side to harass the elite team members of the opponent's jungle, preventing the opponent's economic growth and member development. Generally, junglers are played by assassins with high output. After the tour starts, there is a 5-minute preparation time, and the members of both sides are restricted to their respective bases and cannot go out. At this time, in addition to discussing various tactics among the members of their own team, the 2 sides will use their mouths to put psychological pressure on each other. Moss Mountain Base, you'd better surrender directly. Without Luo Ye, what can you do? That's right, you are going to lose anyway, so don't waste our time. This time Yun Fiang will show you what an assassin is, what a pentakill is, haha. The dagger in my hand is already hungry, I really want to see you trembling with fear now. Among the 5 elite members of the Mang base, the one with a bigger mouth has already started to mock the Moss Mountain base. Chapter 242, A Show of Power. In the second round of the last tour, who was beaten to a pulp by us, Fan Wenji responded to the provocation of the Mang base. Ha 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 ha. It was the Mang base. I remember clearly that they surrendered after a pentakill in the high ground. Yuan Qiang responded loudly to Fan Wenji to boost morale. Well, it was indeed after a pentakill that we were pushed, but that pentakill happened to be achieved by Luo Ye. It's a pity that you don't have Luo Ye now, but we have Yun Fiang. The Mang base also responded immediately. Even without Luo Ye, I can still beat you to a pulp with me. Yuan Qiang continued to talk nonsense. It's easy to talk big, but I'm afraid it will be embarrassing if I can't take it back. Yes, I estimate that King Tai Mountain can only hold out for half an hour at most this time before they have to kneel. Hold out for half an hour? You think too highly of them. With Yuan Zui gun, they will kneel in 15 minutes. Ha 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 ha. I'm very optimistic about you, Yuan Zui gun. Today I will take special care of you. Yuan Zui gun. The Mang base immediately regarded Yuan Qiang as the main target of ridicule. There was no way. Yuan Qiang's strength was the weakest among the 10 people, and it was also the shortcoming of King Tai Mountain base this time. There was no doubt that the Mang base would design tactics based on Yuan Qiang's weakness. I am the Ape King of the Big Gun, not Yuan Zui gun. Soon I will make all of you bow down to my big gun. See how my big gun goes in and out of your body. Yuan Qiang was very unhappy and shouted back after being targeted. Yuan Zui, based on your few words, I will kill you at least 10 times in this game. No, 5 times is enough, because you will definitely not be able to survive until I kill you 10 times. Yun Fiang, the assassin from Mang, expressed great disdain for Yuan Qiang. Really? Let's wait and see. Yuan Qiang was eager to try. This was the first time in his life to participate in a tour. He wanted to become famous in this tour and become the biggest dark horse. After a verbal battle between the 2 sides, the game officially began. Develop in a sleazy way. Don't waste time, Fan Wenji reminded everyone before leaving. Yao Chengzu sat in the middle lane and quickly came to the bridge at the front position with 3 initial cannon fodder. The opponent's mage had also killed them. After casting a few spells on each other to kill the opponent's cannon fodder, they retreated to the protection of the turret. Li Zheng and Ran Maqian went to the bottom lane. The cooperation of 1 tank and 1 shooter first hit a buff in the city area to increase the shooter's attack power and slow down the opponent, and then rushed to the bottom lane turret that was being attacked by the opponent's soldiers and a group of cannon fodder. Ran Maqiang first exchanged fire with the opponent's soldiers. Li Jing rushed in the shadow of the abandoned building and surrounded the opponent's soldiers from the back. Under the front and back attack, the opponent's soldiers fled in panic. Ran Maqiang and Li Jing chased them relentlessly, especially Li Jing, who used the energy gun, had a strong firepower, and from time to time released skills to throw an energy bomb with a stun effect, and completed the shooting before the opponent's soldiers fled back to the protection range of the turret. Li Jing got the first blood smoothly. The Mang cheering audience, who were originally very lively on the field, all quieted down at this time. The cheering audience of King Tai Mountain was arrogant and mocked the Mang audience. King Tai Mountain base is really powerful. At the beginning, it gave the Mang base a warning. Without Luo Ye, we can still kill you. Yuan Qiang continued to talk back to the opponent while playing jungle. It will be very uncomfortable to swallow this sentence later. Yun Fiang responded to Yuan Qiang, after Ran Maqiang and Li Jing in the bottom lane surrounded and killed the opponent's warriors. They hunted nearby wild monsters while waiting for the second batch of cannon fodder in the back to come forward so that they could attack the opponent's bottom lane turret together. Fan Wenji in the top lane was very experienced. He did not take the initiative to attack, but hid in the range of his own turrets and did not go out. He made various moves to withstand the two waves of attacks from the opponent's shooter and tank. Yao Chengzu in the middle lane also seized an appropriate opportunity and suddenly attacked the opponent's mage to half-blood and forced him to retreat behind the turret. For a while, the situation on the field of King Mo's Mountain was very good, and the morale of the cheering audience of King Mo's Mountain was also greatly boosted, and the cheers were higher and higher. The expressions on the faces of the audience at the Mang base were extremely worried. The strength of the King Mo's Mountain base should not be underestimated. Under the favorable situation, Yuan Qiang tried hard to hunt wild monsters in the abandoned city, wanting to get more virtual coins to buy better equipment for his companions. Just when he consumed 1/3 of his health, released all his skills, and finally killed a small boss with great effort, the opponent's full-blooded jungle assassin Yun Fiang suddenly jumped out of the shadows, ended the small boss with an attack, and then rushed towards Yuan Qiang, who had only 2/3 of his health left. Yuan Qiang's level and output were far lower than the opponent's. Just now, he was jungling, causing all his skills to be on cooldown. Seeing that the situation was not good, he could only turn around and flee to the turret in the middle. Yao Chengzu saw that the opponent's assassin Yun Fiang was counter-jungling and was very close to him, so he immediately came to support. But the opponent's assassin had already caught up with Yuan Qiang. He did not use control skills, but only used 2 high-output skills to attack and knocked Yuan Qiang down and sent him back to the base. Damn, wait until my skills are cooled down before coming. What's the point of sneak attack? Yuan Qiang was very unconvinced during his resurrection. Killing you is a skill, Yun Fiang replied to Yuan Qiang, and then quickly retreated to his own position. Yao Chengzu seized the opportunity and used 2 skills in a row to beat Yun Fiang to half health. Yun Fiang turned around and fled without fighting. Yao Chengzu saw an opportunity and immediately chased him. Unexpectedly, the female mage in the middle of the opponent had also followed, hiding in the abandoned building. When Yao Chengzu passed by, she cast a charm skill to freeze him. At this time, Yun Fiang's 2 high-output skills had cooled down. He immediately turned around and sent Yao Chengzu back to the base with a fierce output. I'm so angry. Yao Chengzu was helpless. Hunting the number of heads, Mang base overtook 2-1. Although the game is based on destroying the opponent's base as the condition for winning, the number of heads hunted cannot determine the final victory or defeat. But hunting the opponent and killing the opponent back to the base to revive will greatly limit the development of the opponent's elite group members, and win more development opportunities for the team. With the economic advantage, the final victory or defeat is self-evident. There was a cheering in the Mang base, while there was a cry of grief in the King Tai Mountain base. Ah, Yuan Qiang is too bad. It would have been fine if the opponent had stolen the wild monsters, but he was actually killed. Not only did he die, but he also caused the mid-lane mage to be trapped. If Manager Luo was here, this situation would never have happened. Chapter 243 4 kills. That's right, if Manager Luo was here, Yun Fiang wouldn't dare to come here to counter jungle. Alas, Manager Luo's death was really unfair. Yeah, some people hate Manager Luo so much on weekdays, but they only know how good Manager Luo is when they start the competition. This competition is so depressing to watch. Even if Yuan Kaiang is resurrected, he is still destined to be killed. Why don't we have a powerful assassin among the thousands of people in our Qingtai Mountain base? The audience in the Qingtai Mountain base in the stands complained about Yuan Kaiang and missed Luo Shitan. Don't blame Yuan Kaiang. After Luo Shitan died, he was the strongest assassin in the base. He actually tried his best, but his strength was far behind Yun Fiang. Yeah, he came to participate in the competition knowing that he would be cursed, all for the honor of the base. If you can do it, go ahead. You just know how to talk nonsense here. There were also some sensible people among the audience in Qingtai Mountain base who defended Yuan Kaiang. Amid the celebrations of the audience at the Mang base and the lamentations of the audience at the Qingtai Mountain base in the stands, another small-scale battle broke out in the bottom lane. When the middle lane was in chaos just now, the shooter Li Jing and the tank Ran Maqian used their rich experience and skillful cooperation to forcibly destroy the opponent's top lane tower and forced the opponent's warriors to retreat to the vicinity of the second tower. The bottom lane of the Qingtai Mountain base is also the top lane of the Mang base. Under normal circumstances, Li Jing and Ran Maqian should stop while they are ahead, retreat to their own positions to take care of the bottom lane defense while assisting the defense and offense of the middle lane. However, the middle lane and the jungle failed, and the two wanted to take this opportunity to forcibly take down the opponent's top lane's second tower to maintain the balance between the two sides. The shooter Li Jing's energy gun has a strong firepower, and the skill of throwing stun energy bombs makes the opponent's warriors dare not leave the tower at all. Tank Ran Maqian provides close protection beside Li Jing and does not give the opponent the opportunity to get close to Li Jing. At this time, 3 cannon fodders from the King Moss Mountain came from the rear and withstood the damage of the opponent's tower cannon attack. Li Jing and Ran Maqian took the opportunity to rush up. Ran Maqian was responsible for clearing the opponent's cannon fodder and blocking the opponent's soldiers' attacks. Li Jing used his energy gun to bombard the opponent's turret at full firepower. No money to buy equipment, can't develop, and the damage is too low. Li Jing looked at the opponent's turret's health slowly dropping in small pieces, feeling a little depressed. At this time, the opponent's magent assassin who had just ambushed Yuan Kaiang and Yao Chengzu in the middle lane quietly came around from behind Li Jing and Ran Maqian, blocking Li Jing and Ran Maqian's retreat. The opponent's soldiers also took the opportunity to kill from behind the tower and formed a siege on Li Jing and Ran Maqian. Li Jing and Ran Maqian fought hard, and their firepower was concentrated on the opponent's assassin Yun Fiang. Although Yun Fiang was beaten to a low health, he still failed to escape the opponent's encirclement and fell to the second tower of the opponent's bottom lane. The number of heads on the field became 4-1. The advantage of the Mang base was further expanded. Fan Wenji on the top lane tried his best to deal with the opponent's shooter and tank, but because he could not get the support of the jungle assassin, he was forced to give up the front turret on the top lane and retreat to the second turret on the top lane for defense. After Yuan Kaiang was resurrected, he took advantage of the opponent's assassin Yun Fiang's low health and immediately rushed to the jungle to narrow the economic gap between the two sides. Unexpectedly, Yun Fiang, who was at a low health, did not return to the base for treatment, but hid in the jungle of the King Moss Mountain base. He successfully ambushed Yuan Kaiang with control skills, and sent Yuan Kaiang, who had just been resurrected, back to the base with a few high outputs. Twice, Yun Fiang's voice spread throughout the arena. The two words were light and revealed endless ridicule and humiliation. You only know how to sneak attack. If you have the ability, why don't you fight openly? Yuan Kaiang was very unconvinced. You are just talking nonsense, Yun Fiang sneered. 20 minutes later, in the tour, once you fall behind, you will be controlled everywhere. Yuan Kaiang, the jungle assassin of King Moss Mountain, was too weak. Yun Fiang, the jungle assassin of the other side, appeared and disappeared like a ghost. He took 7 or 8 heads in a row, earned a lot of virtual gold coins, and quickly developed. All the white clothes on his body were replaced with blue clothes, and the dagger in his hand was replaced with purple clothes. After changing clothes, Yun Fiang became more brave. While quickly harvesting his own jungle area, he appeared and disappeared like a ghost and frequently harassed King Moss Mountain's upper, middle and lower lanes in the jungle area. King Moss Mountain's base could only cope with it. After King Moss Mountain found that the situation was becoming more and more passive, Fan Wenji arranged a tactic. All 5 of them gathered at the second tower of the opponent's top lane, and made a desperate attempt to find a breakthrough from here to turn the situation around. The warriors, mages, shooters, and tanks from the Mang base rushed back to help, and started a team battle with the King Deshan base. Just when the team battle between the two sides was in a stalemate, Yun Fiang, an assassin from the Mang base who already had 2 purple suits, suddenly appeared. With better weapons and equipment, Yun Fiang was more adept at harvesting heads. First, a backstab killed the assassin Yuan Qiang who was at low health, and another skill killed the shooter Li Zheng who was at half health. Then, with the cooperation of his teammates, he focused on the mage Yao Chengzu who could not run fast. He had just hit a 2-hit break, and immediately hit a 3-hit winning streak. Fan Wenji and Ran Maqian immediately turned around and fled when they found that the situation was not right. The opponent chased them relentlessly. In the end, Fan Wenji fled back to the bottom of his own lower row tower with low health, and Ran Maqian was stabbed to death by Yun Fiang a few dozen meters outside the tower. Yun Fiang's 4 consecutive extraordinary, large fireworks prompts appeared one after another directly above the virtual competition arena. 2 consecutive kills, 3 consecutive wins, 4 consecutive superb. The avatars of the killed were Yuan Qiang, Li Zheng, Yao Chengzu, and Ran Maqian from the Qingtai Mountain base. The avatar of the killer was Yun Fiang. Everyone on and off the field from the Mang base was boiling. Yun Fiang, pentakill! Yun Fiang, pentakill! The shouts resounded throughout the entire arena. The gap in combat power between the two sides was getting bigger and bigger. It was only a matter of time before the Qingtai Mountain base lost the game, and Yun Fiang, the assassin of the Mang base, would undoubtedly become the most dazzling star of the game. Encouraged by Yun Fiang's 4 consecutive superb performances, the Mang base pushed down the first and second towers of the lower road of the Qingtai Mountain base in one go. With the help of Yuan Qiang, Yao Chengzu, and Li Zheng who had just resurrected from the base, Fan Wenji finally blocked the fierce attack of the Mang base at the 3 towers next to the base. The morale of the audience in the Mang base in the stands was getting stronger and stronger. They cheered, shouted, and even sang loudly. However, all the audience in the Qingtai Mountain base were silent. The situation on the field was too ugly. Without Luo Ye, the Qingtai Mountain base was in disarray, and the competition became one-sided. It seemed that there would not be many supplies from the Green Plains shelter in the next quarter. With Director Luo here, how could Yun Fiang get a quad kill? Where are you, Director Luo? Director Luo will die with regret. Qingtai Mountain is finished. Without Director Luo, there is no need to watch the future tour. Indeed, it will only make people depressed. I want to curse. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 244. The game is over. The members of the elite group at the King Mo's mountain base could not develop at all. They were always ambushed when they went to the wild area to kill monsters. In the end, they could only retreat to the vicinity of the base and use the advantage of artillery fire near the base to repel the attacks of the members of the Mang elite group again and again. You guys should surrender quickly. What's the point of defending like this? The wild area is ours now. We have all changed into purple equipment, and you haven't even gathered all the blue equipment yet. How are you going to fight next? Don't waste time. The leader of the Mang elite team shouted to King Mo's mountain. The 5 people on the King Mo's mountainside were all silent. Now this situation is definitely a loss, unless a miracle happens. For example, When the opponent attacks fiercely, a successful counterattack kills them all, and then while they haven't resurrected yet, they push down the turrets along the way and kill into the opponent's base. However, the possibility of such a miracle is extremely low. King Mo's mountain has not developed at all. Now the strength of the two sides is too different. It is impossible to counterattack and completely destroy the opponent in a team battle. Hold steady, we can win. Fan Wenji encouraged the 4 people around him. In the past, when Fan Wenji said this, everyone would immediately feel more at ease. But not this time. Fan Wenji's words had no effect, because Luo Ye was no longer in the team. Although Luo Ye and they were not very harmonious on weekdays, they had fought side by side for so long in the tour. When they were faced with the aggrieved situation of being abused by the opponent but unable to fight back, they couldn't help but think of Luo Ye. Seeing that King Tashan's loss was a foregone conclusion, Jin Ke withdrew from the virtual arena. When he was about to go offline for training, Chen Yang popped up his QQ and said that he had urgent matters to deal with and had to quit the game and go out. He wanted Jin Ke to replace him and serve as the cannon fodder in the arena. It's very simple. After entering, start from the base and follow a pale white spot of light that only you can see to the other side's base. As long as you don't leave the spot of light, you won't lose blood. If you leave the spot of light, you will lose 5% of your blood every second, and you will be killed by the other side after walking a few steps. I really have something urgent to deal with, and I have to deal with it today. Master, please help me. Thank you very much. Chen Yang begged Jin Ke. Okay. Jin Ke had to agree. Anyway, it wouldn't take much time. Maybe before he went on the court, the King Mo's mountain base had already lost. After going to the competition center, Chen Yang had asked for leave from the supervisor in charge of the cannon fodder to explain the situation. Now it was a losing game. The supervisor didn't care much about who went on the court as cannon fodder. After confirming that Jin Ke's 10 measurements met the requirements, he waved his hand and asked someone to take Jin Ke and lie in the cannon fodder special competition cabin. A few minutes later, Jin Ke appeared in the competition field. A light spot to limit his range of movement appeared on the ground beside him. Jin Ke will not appear until 2 minutes later, and he will appear with Zhu Shu, Liu Zhu, Dao Beiqing, Ni Yu, Qin Heiji, and 12 other people, a total of 18 cannon fodder. In the later stages of the game, the number of cannon fodders in a single attack will increase. Jin Ke and 6 others are responsible for the cannon fodder in the middle lane, and the others are responsible for the cannon fodder in the top and bottom lanes. We were beaten so badly by the Mang team. Zhu Shu sighed. Why let Yuan Kaiang go? In fact, we can let our classmate Jin Ke go. Maybe we can create a miracle. Liu Zhu looked dissatisfied. I suggested it to the higher-ups, but unfortunately no one listened to me. Zhu Shu shook his head. The other dozen cannon fodders heard the conversation between the few people here, and looked over with strange eyes. These newcomers are so arrogant. Who is that classmate Jin Ke? With this newcomer level, you still want to create a miracle? Dream on. The field is full of sea-level warriors. What's the point of me going up? Jin Ke also shook his head. He didn't think he could survive under the concentrated fire of the 5 sea-level warriors. Although his death assault is very powerful, he can't survive as long as the opponent throws a few control skills or spell skills at him. The cannon fodder and the elite group members not only have a big gap in attributes, but also in equipment. Let's go. It's our turn to play. Yu Gang shouted to everyone. Led by 3 white spots of light, a group of cannon fodders walked out of the main gate of the base that had just been opened in 3 groups, and then saw dozens of cannon fodders on the top and middle roads of the opponent were concentrating on attacking the turrets of the King Mo's mountain base. At this time, the battle in the bottom road has reached a white-hot state. It can also be said that it is a key battle to determine the outcome. The 5 elite members of the Mang team and a group of cannon fodder from the Mang base are attacking the bottom lane of the King Mo's mountain base at all costs. The health of the turrets in the bottom lane of King Mo's mountain is about to be cleared under their crazy attack. Once the Mang team breaks through the last turret in the bottom lane and successfully kills into the base, and knocks down the crystal column of the King Mo's mountain base, the game will be over. Fan Wenji and Ran Maqian rushed forward desperately. Li Zheng, Yao Chengzu, and Yuan Kaiang output at full strength. using the advantages of turrets and high ground to resist hard. This time, they can't retreat. Retreating will lose. The tanks and soldiers at the forefront of the Mang base only have 1/3 of their health left. However, the health of Ran Maqian, the tank of the King Mo's mountain base, has bottomed out and he fell down first. Then, Fan Wenji, a soldier from the King Mo's mountain base, also fell down. Without the protection of tanks and soldiers in front, Yun Fiang, the assassin of Mang base, easily cut into the back row, killing Yuan Qiang first and then Li Jing. Although Yao Chengzu used a powerful range spell to beat all 5 of the opponent's rushing people to residual health, they were ultimately too far behind in equipment and quickly fell to the ground under the opponent's concentrated fire. Although the 5 people in Mang base were now at residual health, they successfully destroyed the lower turret of King Mo's mountain base. The road ahead was already smooth, so they did not consider returning to the base for treatment at all. Surrounded by more than a dozen cannon fodders, they rushed directly to the crystal column of King Mo's mountain base, ready to win the game in one fell swoop. The turrets on the upper and middle roads of King Mo's mountain were also lost one after another under the attack of a large number of cannon fodders of the Mang team. The 3 teams of the Mang team rushed to the King Mo's mountain base together. The game is over. King Tai mountain base is unguarded. Ran Maqian, the first to be resurrected, will be in 2 minutes. By then, the crystal pillars of King Tai mountain base will have been smashed to pieces. Mang base is a complete winner. King Tai mountain base was not given any chances at all. With Luo Ye and without Luo Ye, King Tai mountain is completely different. If they can't find a suitable candidate to replace Luo Ye, King Tai mountain may never be able to get up again. The audience off the court were discussing. At this point in the game, there was no suspense. The audience was just waiting to see the crystal pillars of King Tai mountain base explode. Vote. Shooter Li Jing pressed the surrender button in despair. Chapter 245, Cannon Fodder's Awakening. It's not surprising that Li Jing surrendered now. It was too painful to watch his team lose the game. It would be better to let this scene pass as soon as possible and leave the stadium to relax. I surrendered. Ran Maqian also pressed the surrender button. I can't give up. Maybe there is still a chance? Yuan Qiang refused to surrender. He was very unwilling. He felt that the loss of this game was all because of him. Surrender. There is no point in struggling anymore. Yao Chengzu also pressed the surrender button. Captain? Li Jing shouted to Fan Wenji. Fan Wenji hesitated, pressed the surrender button and took it away, then put it back on, but never pressed it. If they lose, the base will be finished in the next quarter. As the head of the base, Fan Wenji felt mixed emotions at this time. 4 of the 5 people must agree to surrender before the surrender will take effect. At this time, some small changes suddenly appeared next to the King Tai mountain base. Although the 5 people were forced to wait for resurrection in the base and could not go out to fight, they could still observe the dynamics of the field through the real-life battlefield map in their vision. Of course, what they saw were all the visions shared by friendly forces. Jin Ke and the other 6 people who had just walked out of the base were besieged by more than 20 cannon fodders of the other side as soon as they left the base. This kind of battle between cannon fodders would not attract too much attention, but after a battle, more than 20 cannon fodders on the Mang base side were first shrouded in a green mist, and then inexplicably wiped out. Yun Fiang, an assassin from the Mang base who rushed over from the top lane, saw the situation in the middle lane and prepared to kill to the middle lane to see what cannon fodder was so arrogant that he actually defeated more than 20 of their cannon fodders with fewer troops. The captain of the Mang base called Yun Fiang. After all, the game was the most important thing. Now all 5 elites of the King Mo's mountain base were resurrected in the base. It was easy for them to rush into the opponent's base with a group of cannon fodders to blow up the crystal and win the tour. There was no need to make trouble for a few cannon fodders at this time. Although the output of the shooter is mainly relied on to blow up the crystal, the output of the assassin is also very important. Although Yun Fiang wanted to be reckless, he also knew that this was a critical moment and would not disobey the captain's order. He rushed into the base of King Mo's mountain with other teammates and a dozen cannon fodders. Under the siege of a dozen cannon fodders and 5 elite members, the health of the crystal column of King Mo's mountain base kept dropping one by one. It would be blown up in half a minute. At this time, a very surprising scene happened. The 6 cannon fodders of King Moss Mountain Base, who were supposed to follow the route and follow the light spot to the direction of Mang Base, suddenly turned around and killed back to the direction of the base. Of course, they would pay a price for this kind of U-turn, that is, 5% of their health would be deducted every second, and they would automatically die after 20 seconds because their health was deducted. Don't worry about them, concentrate your firepower on the crystal. The captain of Mang Base commanded with a calm mind. Yun Fiang, the assassin at Mang Base who was itching to kill the 6 cannon fodders, resisted the urge to rush over and kill the 6 cannon fodders who didn't know how to live or die, and continued to attack the crystal at King Mo's mountain base with others. The health of the crystal quickly dropped to 10%, 5%. What surprised the audience was that after 10 seconds, 5 of the 6 cannon fodders who went to King Mo's mountain base and returned were still full of health. The reason was that one of the cannon fodders seemed to have healing skills, and he helped the other cannon fodders to heal every 5 seconds during the process of going back and forth, and he survived 10 seconds. However, the cannon fodder's own health was only half left, because he couldn't heal himself. Cannon fodder who doesn't want to be an elite is not a good cannon fodder. Seeing this scene, the shooter at Mang Base couldn't help but tease. Although he wanted to turn the gun to kill the cannon fodders, the captain ordered him to continue to attack the crystal column honestly. You have high aspirations, but you are a lowly person. You have come all the way here to add health, just to give us money? Unfortunately, we don't need it anymore. The mage of Mang Base also laughed and said, "Why don't those 5 idiots from King Moss Mountain Base shoot? Do they think they can turn the tables in this situation?" The shooter of Mang Base said a few words loudly, just when the health of the crystal of King Moss Mountain Base dropped to 2% and the members of the elite group of Mang Base mocked them. The 6 cannon fodders of King Moss Mountain Base had already come to a place more than 10 meters away from them. For some reason, the captain of Mang Base suddenly felt uneasy, but he didn't think much about it. He just urged the team to continue to attack the crystal column of King Moss Mountain Base. In just a dozen seconds, the crystal column could be blown up. From the perspective of time, in another 30 seconds, the 5 elites of King Moss Mountain Base will be resurrected one by one. Once they are resurrected, there will be more troubles later. Although their Mang Base has the advantage throughout the game, King Moss Mountain Base is a veteran strong team after all. And of course they must seize the opportunity to win. Jin Ke's health was only 15% left at this time. In 3 seconds, he would die because his health was forcibly deducted. Cannon fodder has no human rights. If he dies, he dies. It is impossible to return to the base to revive, but it doesn't matter. The purpose of him asking his teammates to rush over with him was just to throw out the 15 death marks accumulated from killing more than 20 Mang cannon fodders just now, and then watch the group of people in front of him set off firecrackers. This feeling is very refreshing. It's like a man's internal fire is rising, and he can't bear it. It's worth it to fire cannon and die again. As for saving the King Moss Mountain Base from danger, he didn't even think about it. As a cannon fodder, Jin Ke has the awareness of being a cannon fodder. No one can achieve success overnight. Jin Ke looked at his energy value. There are more than 500 points, enough to squander. After entering the arena, the energy values of all elite group members and cannon fodder will be automatically filled up, and will return to the original value after leaving the arena. Elite team members can retreat to the fountain behind their base for healing and recharging. The fountain can instantly replenish lost health and energy, but cannon fodder cannot. The fountain behind the base can instantly heal members of the team and instantly replenish the energy points of the members. The members of the team who stay in the fountain can be said to be invincible, but once the opponent members step into the fountain, 99% of them will be killed instantly. Those who are not killed instantly are often those who have awakened special skills, but they only approach temporarily and then evacuate quickly. It can be said that the fountain is the opponent's forbidden place of death. The crystal column has 1% of its health left. Keep outputting at full strength, the captain of the Mang Base shouted to all the players. At this point in the game, King Mo's Mountain has no chance of turning the tables. Of course, this is their opinion, and it is also the opinion of all the spectators in the stands. However, it does not mean that things will really develop according to their ideas. Bang, bang bang bang, bang bang, dot. Chapter 246 5 consecutive peerless. The 15 death marks thrown by Jin Ke detonated in an instant. The damage caused by each detonation was very limited, only a few dozen points. However, the 15 explosions that occurred almost simultaneously accumulated more than 1,000 points of damage, instantly killing dozens of cannon fodders who had gathered together and had low health from the Mang base. At the same time, they also killed the tanks, soldiers, and half-blood mages and shooters of the Mang base elite group. Large fireworks prompts appeared one after another above the virtual competition arena. Second consecutive defeat. 3 consecutive wins. 4 consecutive extraordinary. The avatars of the killed were shown as tanks, soldiers, mages, and shooters of the Mang base elite group. The murderer was always shown as an unknown cannon fodder. Cannon fodders have no human rights. They are not eligible to upload their own avatars before the game. All the avatars are uniform cartoon avatars. Therefore, no one on and off the field knows which cannon fodder has done all this. There are even 2 words cannon fodder written on the forehead of the avatar. This scene looks very funny. In the history of the tour, the cannon fodder's head has never appeared in the large-scale fireworks prompt, and even the 2 consecutive defeats have never happened, let alone the 3 consecutive decisive wins and 4 consecutive extraordinary. All the audience at the scene were dumbfounded. The entire stadium was silent. No one cheered, and no one shouted, because they didn't know what happened. A few seconds later, the audience at the King Moss Mountain base burst into earth-shaking cheers. In any case, King Moss Mountain base also returned a quad kill to the opponent. Even if they lost this game, at least their faces would not be as ugly as before, right? What's the point of being happy? You will lose sooner or later. That's right. I don't know what happened just now, but the gap in strength and equipment between the 2 sides is there. At most, we can push another round. The audience at the Mang base was not convinced, but they were not very worried about the situation on the field. Although the tanks, warriors, shooters, and mages were all dead, their hero, the assassin Yun Fiang, was still alive. Yun Fiang has harvested 17 heads today, and he has not died once. This record should be ranked among the top few in this round of the tour. Maybe he can be awarded the best of this round. Yun Fiang, the assassin of the Mang base elite group, is indeed extraordinary. Relying on his full set of purple clothes and quick reaction, he used 3 displacement skills in a row to fly past Jin Ke and others at the moment of the explosion, escaping the explosion range and the attack range of the turret above the King Moss Mountain base. Although he only had a trace of blood left, he was not killed. What happened just now? The tanks, warriors, mages, and shooters of the Mang base elite group who were blown back to the base gathered in their own base and were confused. They clearly hit the crystal in the opponent's base to only 1% of its health. So how come they were all sent back in an instant, and gave the opponent a chance to be extraordinary for 4 consecutive times? Who is extraordinary for 4 consecutive times? Haven't the members of the opponent's elite group been resurrected yet? It's so weird. Soon, a group of fireworks rose up in the sky above the stadium. Amid the celebratory sound similar to the sound of firecrackers, the fireworks spelled out the words 5 consecutive peerless. This time, the one who died was Yun Fiang, the hero in the hearts of all the spectators in the Mang base. The one who killed him was still an unknown cannon fodder. Fuck, F. The cheers, discussions, and curses from the audience were getting louder and louder. This scene was really amazing. Since the tour was held, there have indeed been cases of cannon fodder killing low-health elites, but no cannon fodder has ever been able to achieve 5 consecutive peerless kills. Moreover, the crystal of the King Moss Mountain base had been beaten to only 1% of its health, and it was saved by this cannon fodder. In a few seconds, the 5 elites of the King Moss Mountain base will be resurrected. Will the outcome of this game be reversed? Originally, I thought that with Yun Fiang there, I would never give the King Moss Mountain base any chance. However, Yun Fiang, who had not died once in the whole game, actually died. He also handed over the 5 consecutive peerless kills to the opponent's cannon fodder. The one who killed the assassin of the elite group of the Mang base was, of course, Jin Ke. After Yun Fiang, who had only a little blood left, used 3 displacement skills to pass by him. He immediately activated the soul-gathering technique. Through the death elixir and arbitration of good and evil together, death charged to Yunfiang's back and then death cut. Although only 100 points of damage were dealt, it successfully harvested the remaining dozens of points of blood of Yunfiang, the elite assassin of the Mang base. Jin Ke, who was left with blood, even took this opportunity to use arbitration of good and evil to pull his blood back to more than 1/3. However, the white round spot had gone far away, and Jin Ke's blood was still dropping by 5% per second. Charge. Kill. The crystal column has only 1% of blood left. It's time to make a contribution. Another group of cannon fodders from the Mang base rushed over. They even risked forced blood deduction and rushed out of the range of the white spot, hoping to win by surprise and establish a great contribution for the Mang base. The 5 people around Jin hurriedly greeted the 6 cannon fodders rushing over from the Mang base. The cannon fodders of both sides fought in one place, throwing various skills at each other. Today's battle is a bit confusing. Are these cannon fodders the real protagonists? Yes, all the members of the elite group are dead, and only a group of cannon fodders are left on the field to kill each other. This game is getting more and more interesting. Alas, although I know that our Qingtai Mountain base will definitely lose, the 5 consecutive peerless just now was really cool. Yes, does your Mang base have 5 consecutive peerless? You boasted so much before the game, and now it is our Qingtai Mountain base that has 5 consecutive peerless. Does it hurt? The audience in the stands made various discussions, and then continued to talk nonsense. Just in time, the low-blooded Jin Ke saw the right time, and after the opponent's cannon fodders had almost released various skills, he threw a death medicine and a arbitration of good and evil over, and then death charge killed into the cannon fodder formation of the Mang base. Thank Zhang Mengdai for the reward of 50,000 starting coins. Chapter 247. Can cannon fodder be so extravagant? A beam of light rushed into the cannon fodder array of the Mang base like meat grinder. When the 6 cannon fodders from the Mang base all fell to the ground, Jin Ke's health had been pulled back to full. The opponent's cannon fodder assisted just right. There were only 2 cannon fodders left on the Qingtai Mountain side of Jin Ke, one Zushu and one Zhao Beiqing. Jin Ke looked at the direction of the white spot, and ran towards the white spot with Zushu and Zhao Beiqing. Just when his health was about to bottom out, he met 6 cannon fodders from the Mang base. Why you always assist so promptly? Zushu and Zhao Beiqing fell down, and the 6 cannon fodders from the Mang base also fell down. Jin Ke's health, which had bottomed out, was pulled back to full. Then, Jin Ke ran back into the white spot, and his health stopped dropping. However, 6 more cannon fodders from the opponent rushed over. The control skills of tanks and warriors are usually range-based. As long as you get close to them, you may be controlled. Although these cannon fodders have poor equipment, their control skills have a high failure rate against the elites on the field, and even if they succeed, their effects are limited. The control time is greatly shortened and the control strength is greatly weakened, but it is still very threatening to Jin Ke, whose basic attributes are at the same level. Without Zushu and Zhao Beiqing in front to attract hatred and digest the fierce control skills of the opponent's tanks and warriors in the first round, Jin Ke is likely to be blindly controlled if he rashly death charge rushes into their formation. Then, even if the opponent's 6 cannon fodders attack blindly, they may drain his ultra-thin armor value and health. Jin Ke did not attack at close range, but threw a ball of green mist on the route of the 6 cannon fodders in the Mang base, added a good and evil arbitration, and then turned around and ran out of the range of the white spot, fleeing to the direction of the abandoned city next to it. The health began to drop again. This cannon fodder is so interesting, he actually ran away. Didn't the Moss Mountain base teach him that cannon fodder cannot retreat? How can the cannon fodder of 5 consecutive eras be compared with you ordinary cannon fodders? It's a pity that all these cannon fodders were forced to wear masks, and 5 consecutive eras didn't even have an avatar, so we still don't know which cannon fodder is 5 consecutive eras. Yeah, if the best player of this round of tour is selected, I think it must be this magical cannon fodder. The previous wave completely overshadowed Yunfiang. Yunfiang must be furious now. I think if he is resurrected, The first thing he will do is to kill this cannon fodder for revenge. Haha. He got 17 kills in a row. He probably didn't expect that he would be killed by a cannon fodder, right? There were all kinds of discussions in the audience. At this time, the focus of the game was no longer on the victory or defeat of the two sides, but all turned into discussions about this cannon fodder. Jin Ke escaped, and the other 6 cannon fodders were unwilling to let him escape like this. You have to know that the one who escaped was the cannon fodder of 5 consecutive peerless. Killing him would be a great achievement. How face-saving. Therefore, they also rushed out of the light spot without hesitation and chased Jin Ke in the direction of his escape, forcing Jin Ke into a dead end. A dead end formed by several abandoned buildings. The 6 cannon fodders surrounded Jin Ke, grinning and trying to compete for this opportunity to make a great achievement. Unexpectedly, Jin Ke, who was blocked in the abandoned building complex, suddenly threw a good and evil arbitration behind him, and then Death Charge passed through a 5 or 6 meter thick abandoned building and appeared in a group of wild monsters behind the abandoned building complex. At this time, the detection plugin had to be used. After Jin Ke detected the abandoned building complex, there was a group of wild monsters wandering around. The place where he rushed in appeared very accurately behind a wild monster. Death cut. Apostrophe after hitting the energy node, all skills were refreshed, and the remaining blood volume of Jin Ke was pulled back to a safer 1/3 by the arbitration of good and evil. Fuck. Damn it. Fuck. Dot. After Jin Ke escaped with a death charge, the 6 cannon fodders in the Mang base on the abandoned building were all dumbfounded. They forced their way out of the light spot to kill Jin Ke, but when they got here, his blood volume was already very low. They originally thought that they had consumed the cannon fodder of the 5 consecutive worlds on the opposite side to death, but they didn't expect him to escape. You must know that the blood of the cannon fodder after leaving the light spot is deducted according to a percentage. Although they are tanks and warriors, their blood volume is much higher than Jin Ke, but after leaving the light spot, they can only last for 20 seconds at most. Even if they have awakened self-healing skills, the cooling time of this skill is generally very long, which can only allow them to last a few more seconds at most. At this time, it was impossible for them to return to the light spot. They could only desperately bypass the abandoned building and continue to chase Jin Ke. Unfortunately, as soon as they bypassed and saw Jin Ke's figure, their health was all exhausted, and they fell one after another on the ground in the abandoned city. I never knew that cannon fodder could be so reckless. It's eye-opening. I really want to know the psychological shadow area of the 6 cannon fodders in the Mang base at this time. Haha. They must be furious after being fooled around. The audience was very happy. Not only the audience at the Qingtai Mountain base was discussing it enthusiastically at this time, but the audience at the Mang base also had a strong interest in Jin Ke. A cannon fodder with an extremely humble status in the game, used his wisdom and ability to forcibly steal the show. His brilliance completely overshadowed the 10 elites on the field, making Yun Fiang, who completed 4 consecutive extraordinary and 17 heads, pale in comparison. The counterattack of the cannon fodder is inspiring. It's so damn inspiring. Among the audience, more than half of them, including more than half of those at the Mang base, wanted to vote him the best of the game. Unfortunately, the best player of the match can only be awarded to the winning team, and can only be awarded to members of the elite group. It seems that this cannon fodder is limited by the rules and can never get the best player of the match. He can only be an unknown hero. The wild monsters have thick blood, and Jin Ke's equipment is too poor to kill them. He can only restore his blood volume by attacking the energy nodes behind them, and then quickly chase after the light spot that is still moving forward. After more than 10 seconds, Jin Ke finally caught up with the light spot, but his blood volume hit the bottom again, and then 6 more cannon fodders from the Mang base came to kill him. No matter how powerful Jin Ke is, he can no longer deal with the opponent at this time, but he doesn't care. As a cannon fodder, he can do this, save his own base from collapse, and get a 5-game winning streak, which is already amazing. Just when the 6 cannon fodders at the Mang base were preparing to kill the low-health Jin Ke to avenge their elite group and grab the first credit for themselves, suddenly a large-scale freezing spell was thrown over, followed by an intensive sweep of energy guns and a bombardment of energy cannons. Chapter 248, Failure at the Last Moment. The 6 cannon fodders of the other side who besieged Jin Ke were first frozen, and then strangled by energy guns, energy cannons, and Jin's death cut. Yao Chengzu, Li Zhen and Yuan Kaiyang came to kill. They should have killed them long ago, but after Jin killed all the way up from the middle road, the upper and lower turrets were all pushed, and the upper and lower cannon fodders of the other side could drive straight in, threatening the safety of the crystal column with only 1% of the health left in the base at any time. They had to clear the opponent's cannon fodder before quickly chasing to the middle road. Yuan Kaiyang was originally going to perform a magical cannon fodder of killing 6 cannon fodders alone and saving his own 5 consecutive peerless, but unfortunately his arms were not long enough, and Yao Chengzu and Li Zhen got there first. Behind Yao Chengzu, Li Zhen and Yuan Kaiyang, Fan Wenji and Ran Maqian had also followed. Assemble, assemble, Ran Maqian kept shouting. Everyone attack the middle road. Fan Wenji issued a general attack order, with the situation falling behind. This is their only chance. After killing the 6 cannon fodders, Yao Chengzu, Li Zhen, and Yuan Kaiyang did not stop to wait for Fan Wenji and Ran Maqian, but directly killed them to the middle of the Mang base near the second turret. Jin Ke followed the white spot and slowly came to the middle of the second turret. Seeing that Jin Ke had only a trace of blood left, Li Zhen and Yuan Kaiyang swallowed their words to let the cannon fodder rush first. Is this cannon fodder? He saved the base with his own strength and completed the 5 consecutive peerless that they had never completed in the tour. Brother, what's your name? Whose student is he? Yuan Kaiyang shouted to Jin Ke, who was wearing a cannon fodder mask. He is a student under your command. Yao Chengzu replied to Yuan Kaiyang. My subordinates? Yuan Kaiyang was confused. His mind was turning quickly, and he didn't figure out who it was. Mage, who is he? Li Zheng was also very curious about this question. Ran Maqian and Fan Wenji also rushed over and heard the conversation here. A man who survived the alien Zerg invasion in dormitory number 23. A man who was tied to a life-and-death stake by you and survived in the darkness of the night. Yao Chengzu looked at his teammates meaningfully. Before the game, he had suggested that Jin Ke replace Yuan Kaiyang, but unfortunately no one listened. If Jin Ke was not wearing the cannon fodder suit, but was wearing Yuan Kaiyang's current equipment, his strength would immediately increase by several levels, or, the King Moss Mountain base would not be so passive from the beginning. Everyone heard what Yao Chengzu said, and they immediately understood who this cannon fodder was. What a slap in the face. Too much slap in the face. Push the middle lane. Fan Wenji's command shifted the embarrassing situation. He and Ran Maqian relied on their high blood volume and rushed directly into the turret's attack range without waiting for other cannon fodder to come over, forcibly withstanding the turret's attack. The other members of the elite group rushed up. Yuan Kaiyang smashed with his silver spear, Li Zheng fired with his energy gun, and Fan Wenji and Ran Maqian slashed with their swords, and soon dealt with the second turret in the middle of the Mang base. Facing a turret with such a high HP, Jin Ke, whose attributes and equipment were extremely poor, had no chance to intervene. He took the opportunity to kill several cannon fodders frozen by Yao Chengzu and stacked the death mark again. While the members of the elite group of the Mang base were still resurrecting in the base, the 5 elites plus 1 cannon fodder quickly cleared another team of cannon fodders coming out of the Mang base and pushed down the last turret in the middle of the Mang base. Fan Wenji and Ran Maqian both had 3/4 of HP left. Jin Ke also pulled back half of his HP. At this moment, the two were so moved that they wanted to cry. The cannon fodder turned the tide, completed 5 consecutive peerless, and saved the base from danger. Now he actually played the role of a nurse. Although the amount of treatment was small, after more than a dozen treatments, it also helped them pull back thousands of HP. Where can I find such a good cannon fodder? Not only can it output, but it can also heal. After clearing the last team of cannon fodder, the 5 elites led the cannon fodder that followed them to the Mang base, and began to bombard and hack at the crystal pillars of the Mang base. A few minutes ago, the Mang base was at the gates of the city, and the 5 elites of the King Tai Mountain base were driven back to the base, and the crystal pillars of the Qingtai mountain base were hit to only 1% of their health. I never thought that in just a few minutes, the situation was reversed. Now all the 5 elites of the Mang base are dead in the base waiting to be resurrected, and the 5 elites of Qingtai mountain plus a god-level cannon fodder have come to the Mang base. The problem is that the Mang base does not have such cannon fodder that can turn the tide. When the crystal of the Mang base was hit to only 3% of its health, the 5 elites of the Mang base, except for the assassin Yunfeng, were resurrected from the base together, and hurriedly killed everyone in the Qingtai mountain base. 5 against 4, kill them first. Fan Wenji knew from experience that it was impossible to win by attacking the crystal column now. He could only take advantage of the fact that the opponent's assassin Yunfeng had not resurrected yet, and try to kill these 4 before dealing with Yunfeng with all his strength. The critical moment to decide the outcome has come. Fan Wenji knew that after the opponent's 5 elites were fooled by the cannon fodder Jin Ke, they would not be fooled again. This was their only chance to win. After arranging the tactics, the 5 elites of King Mo's mountain base immediately started a melee with the 4 elites of Mang base. Both sides knew that the matter was of great importance, and they did not dare to hold back any skills, and threw them all at the opponent's elites. In a few seconds, Ran Maqiang, the tank of King Mo's mountain base, fell down under the opponent's concentrated fire. Although Fan Wenji fought hard, he was soon beaten to residual blood. He wanted to withdraw from the battlefield and return to the base to replenish blood, but he was controlled by the last control skill of the opponent's warrior and was directly hung back to the base by the concentrated fire. Yuan Qiang seized the opportunity to cut the back row and beat the opponent's mage and shooter to half health, but was soon killed by the opponent's concentrated fire. Mage Yao Chengzu and shooter Li Zheng used all their strength to output, and beat the opponent's tank and warrior to low health. Then Yao Chengzu cast a ranged spell, but unfortunately, the opponent's tank and warrior had already escaped to the back row, and he was unable to kill them. He only beat the opponent's mage and shooter to low health. At this time, Yunfeng was resurrected. Yunfeng, who already had 3 purple equipment, the best development in the game, 17 kills and 9 assists, and only died once, and ranked in the top 5 in the entire shelter, was resurrected. We still lost. Ran Maqiang, who was waiting for resurrection at the base, shook his head when he saw Yunfeng resurrected. Alas! All the efforts were in vain. Fan Wenji, who was also waiting for resurrection at the base, sighed. There will be no more chances. Yuan Qiang, who had just returned to the base, was also disheartened. In the previous battle, he had already played to the best of his ability, reducing the opponent's mage and shooter to half health, but ultimately he failed to complete his first kill in this game. Chapter 249 Cannon Fodder. Pentakill. Yunfeng, 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 Yunfeng. Thousands of spectators from the Mang base cheered in unison, shouting Yunfeng's name in unison, with great momentum and deafening. The spectators from the Qingtai mountain base all had regretful expressions on their faces. This expression was like watching the Chinese national football team play, struggling to hold on until the last minute of overtime. The Chinese national football team attacked the opponent's penalty area with great force, and faced the empty goal with all kinds of exquisite cooperation, and then was kicked away by the forward. It was a pity that they didn't win when they should have won. Yunfeng's resurrection was the turning point of the whole game. Whether it was the spectators from the Mang base or the Qingtai mountain base, they all thought so. All the 10 elites on the field, including Yunfeng himself, who were alive and dead, also thought so. Now there are 10 elites on the field. Although 4 of them in the Mang base have low health, they are all alive, and they are right next to their own base, so they can go back to the fountain to replenish their health and energy at any time. On the other hand, the tanks, warriors, and assassins at the King Mo's mountain base were dead, leaving only the mage and the shooter with half health, and they could be harvested by Yunfeng at any time. As for the cannon fodder, he just got lucky, and now Yunfeng is full of health. How could he give him another chance? The counterattack of the King Mo's mountain base was about to become the counterattack of the Mang base. Just when the entire Mang audience shouted Yunfeng in unison, just when the entire King Mo's mountain audience was in mourning, thinking that if they missed this opportunity, the King Mo's mountain base would definitely lose. Something happened on the field again. A group of 18 cannon fodders who had just walked out of the Mang base, and the few cannon fodders they had left before, suddenly issued a series of bang bang, bang bang, bang, dot. At the same time, in less than half a second, more than 20 cannon fodders from the Mang base were all killed. Killed with them were the tanks, warriors, mages, and shooters with low health at the Mang base. 2 consecutive kills, 3 consecutive wins, 4 consecutive extraordinary. The avatars of the killed were the tanks, warriors, mages, and shooters of the elite group of the Mang base. The murderer was an unknown cannon fodder. The Mang audience, who were shouting Yun Fiang, fell silent in an instant. The Qingtai Mountain audience, who were originally in mourning, cheered deafeningly. Cannon fodder, pentakill, cannon fodder, pentakill, cannon fodder, pentakill. The Qingtai Mountain audience didn't know the name of the cannon fodder at all, and now they could only use the shout to express their deep respect for this magical cannon fodder. Fuck, is it over yet? The captain of the Mang base was completely enraged. Nima, is there a bug? The tank of the Mang base was also completely enraged. They were on their way back to the spring, and a group of new cannon fodder from the Mang base came out of the base, and then set off firecrackers, blowing them up. I died at the hands of cannon fodder again. Damn it. The mage who died at the Mang base was also completely enraged. Yun Fiang, kill that damn cannon fodder. Avenge us. The shooter at the Mang base shouted to Yun Fiang. The unwillingness and resentment in his tone moved nearly 10,000 spectators at the scene. What kind of cannon fodder can make the elites on the field hate him to this extent? If I don't kill this cannon fodder, I, Yun Fiang, will not be a human being. Yun Fiang, who had just been resurrected and had 1/10 of his health blown away, was also completely enraged. Yun Fiang looked around, completely ignoring Yao Chengzu and Li Zheng, and his eyes were fixed on the dozen cannon fodders at the King Mo's mountain base. In a rage, he rushed into the cannon fodder formation with a displacement skill, a skill on the left, and a fierce slash on the right, instantly knocking down 4 or 5 cannon fodders. He didn't know which cannon fodder had just completed a 5-kill near the Qingtai Mountain base, destroying his immortal body. Now, like a bug, he had completed a 4-kill near the Mang base. Yun Fiang, who was in a violent state, just wanted to kill all the cannon fodders in the Qingtai Mountain base to vent his anger. Yao Chengzu and Li Zheng were desperately attacking Yun Fiang, and in a few seconds, they beat Yun Fiang to half his health. Don't be reckless. Kill their mages and shooters first. After the captain of the Mang base calmed down, he felt that the situation was not good, and hurriedly shouted to Yun Fiang. Yun Fiang killed 3 more cannon fodders in the Qingtai Mountain base. After finding that his health was only 1/3 left, he also felt that the situation was not good. Although he was not sure whether he had killed the annoying cannon fodder, he could only give up the killing of the remaining cannon fodder and deal with Yao Chengzu and Li Zheng first. Otherwise, the game would definitely be lost. Yun Fiang gave up the massacre of the cannon fodder, and used a displacement skill to get close to Yao Chengzu. After releasing the control skill, he was about to use a high burst output to end Yao Chengzu, but he was unexpectedly covered by a cloud of green mist. Jin Ke's death medicine caused very little damage to Yun Fiang, and the depression and blinding effects were not very obvious. But with this delay, Yao Chengzu found an opportunity to step back 2 steps to avoid Yun Fiang's one-way control skills and fatal blows, and then he and Li Zheng beat Yun Fiang's health to only a quarter. Yun Fiang shouted loudly, and a rapid forward rush plus a super high output skill instantly drained Yao Chengzu's remaining half of the health, sending him back to the King Mo's mountain base. Li Zheng took the opportunity to shoot with an energy gun and an energy bomb, hitting Yun Fiang to a state of residual health and dizziness. Yun Fiang released a purification skill while being stunned. After clearing the dizziness, he immediately used a displacement skill to come behind Li Zheng. The last control skill and 2 high output skills were all released at once, sending Li Zheng back to the Qingtai Mountain base. 2 consecutive hits. A ball of fireworks rose above the stadium. Kill. Yun Fiang heard the deafening shouts and turned around. he saw more than a dozen cannon fodders from the Qingtai mountain base rushing towards him from all directions. "Fuck, I hate cannon fodder," Yunfiang cursed and quickly scanned all the cannon fodders, trying to see clearly from behind their white masks which one was the cannon fodder who completed a 5 consecutive peerless, a 4 consecutive extraordinary, and broke his indestructible golden body. All of them looked like it, and none of them looked like it. The third one on the left, the shooter of the Mang base, provided Yunfiang with a clue. "No, it's the fifth one on the right." The mage of the Mang base had a different opinion on this. At this time, more than a dozen cannon fodders from the King Moss mountain base rushed forward, regardless of whether their skills were useful or not, and whether they could only cause single-digit damage. They all rushed towards Yunfiang. Yunfiang's dagger flew, and 5 or 6 cannon fodders fell to the ground in an instant. His health was only in the double digits. For some reason, Yunfiang suddenly had a very dangerous premonition. While he was frantically slaughtering the cannon fodder in front of him, he subconsciously looked in a certain direction. When more than a dozen cannon fodders rushed over together, one cannon fodder rushed a few steps, then stopped 5 or 6 meters away from him, standing there quietly observing the situation on the field. It must be him. Yunfiang understood instantly. He was killed by this cannon fodder once, so he also had a certain understanding of this cannon fodder. The damage caused by this cannon fodder to him was very limited, less than 100 points. The health of this cannon fodder was very thin, so thin that it was not enough to withstand Yunfiang's normal attack. Therefore, this cannon fodder was waiting for other cannon fodders to reduce Yunfiang's health to double digits before attacking. Now, Yunfiang's health was only in the double digits. So, this cannon fodder took action. The moment Yunfiang figured it out, a flash of light passed by, and his mind was also in a trance for a moment. The next moment, Yunfiang returned to his base. Beside him were 4 elite teammates waiting to be resurrected. Fuck. Yunfiang's shrill and unwilling shouting resounded throughout the arena. 5 consecutive peerless. A group of fireworks rose above the arena. Amid the celebration sound similar to the sound of firecrackers, the fireworks typed the words 5 consecutive peerless for the second time in this game. Chapter 250. Harmony between heaven and man. After killing Yunfiang, Jin Ke led the cannon fodder of King Moss Mountain to attack the crystal column of Mang base, which had less than 3% of its health left and only 5,000 points. The reason for less than 3% was that the explosion caused by Jin Ke's death mark was a range attack, which also affected the crystal column of Mang base, blowing up 1,000 points of the crystal column's health at one time. Under the attack of more than 10 King Moss Mountain cannon fodders, the health of the crystal column slowly dropped from 5,000 points. All the cannon fodder of King Moss Mountain now are assassins and shooters with high attack speed and high output. There is no way King Moss Mountain does not have enough tanks and warrior professions, so assassins and shooters can only be used as cannon fodder. Although they can only cause single-digit damage to the crystal column each time they attack, the high attack speed plus the accumulation of people can cause about 50 points of damage to the crystal column per second. If they change to tanks and warriors, the efficiency may be only half. At this speed, in about 100 seconds, the crystal column of Mang base can be blown up. However, after 70 seconds, the tanks, soldiers, mages and shooters of Mang base will be resurrected from the base. Qingtai mountain base, Mang base, and the audience began to use the mathematics they learned from the physical education teacher to quickly calculate whether the cannon fodder of Qingtai mountain base could blow up the crystal column of Mang base before the 5 elites of Mang base were resurrected. The result of the calculation was not optimistic. The cannon fodder of Qingtai mountain base must blow up the crystal of Mang base within 70 seconds. If they want to blow up the crystal of Mang base within 70 seconds, their number must be increased. But the current situation is that the cannon fodders of the upper and lower routes of Qingtai mountain base have been blocked by the turrets of Mang base. The 3 routes of cannon fodder of Mang base can immediately join the battle after coming out of the base. During the battle between the two sides, the light spot leading the cannon fodder will not move. Soon the cannon fodder of Mang base will have an absolute advantage in numbers. On the one hand, the cannon fodders of King Mo's mountain have to attack the crystal column, and on the other hand, they have to withstand the attacks of the cannon fodders of Mang Base. The cannon fodders of King Mo's mountain are all assassins and shooters, while the cannon fodders of Mang Base are all tanks and warriors who can restrain them. In this cannon fodder war, King Mo's mountain base has little hope of winning. After getting the calculation results, the elites of King Mo's mountain base sighed again. If they can't push down the crystal column of Mang Base in one fell swoop this time, even if they have done 5 consecutive peerless many times before, it will be meaningless. Once the 5 elites of Mang Base are resurrected, the cannon fodder will not be able to resist the strangulation of the 5 elites no matter how magical it is. At that time, they who had just resurrected had no time to rush over to support. The audience of King Mo's mountain base was also very regretful. Many people asked on the spot, why can't the base have such powerful members, but can't enter the elite group, and can only play the role of cannon fodder? Is the leader of the base crazy? Why is it arranged like this? Fan Wenji was embarrassed, and Ran Maqian and Li Zheng didn't dare to look at Yao Chengzu's eyes. There has never been a tour match that allowed these elites and the entire audience to calculate the damage output and specific number of cannon fodders in such detail to infer the final victory or defeat. Just like the Chinese national football team always asks fans across the country to calculate the theoretical chances of qualifying, no one expected that the final victory or defeat of this tour match would be dominated and decided by cannon fodder. Not long after, 6 more cannon fodders from the King Mo's mountain base came to support. After the number of people increased, the output per second to the crystal column increased significantly, but 18 cannon fodders rushed out of the Mang base. The longer the game time, the higher the frequency of the cannon fodder's departure. The cannon fodders at the King Mo's mountain base had to give up the attack on the crystal column and turned to face the cannon fodders at the Mang base. The cannon fodders of both sides threw skills at each other and fought in one place, and the remaining more than 3,000 health points of the crystal column no longer decreased. The number of cannon fodders at the Mang base was obviously superior, and the cannon fodders at the King Mo's mountain base were in a worrying situation. Thousands of spectators at the Mang base stood up and cheered, with each wave of cheering getting louder. Thousands of spectators at the King Mo's mountain base were worried, watching the last hope of winning disappear. At this moment, a flash of light flashed across the battlefield near the crystal column of the Mang base, and the magical cannon fodder attacked again. The control skills of the cannon fodders at the Mang base were all lost. Jin Ke seized the opportunity and rushed over. The duration of the soul-gathering technique that killed Yun Fiang just now had not ended. The life-taking divine medicine and arbitration of good and evil were thrown out at the same time. After the death charge, the death cut hit the energy node and all the cool-down skills were reset. Then he continued to throw out the life-taking divine medicine and arbitration of good and evil desperately, making the entire battlefield shrouded in a green mist. There were only more than 100 points left from the 600 energy points, and there was no point in keeping them. The cannon fodders at the Mang base lost their vision in the green fog, their movements were restricted, and they were marked with poisons one after another. However, the cannon fodders at the King Mo's mountain base had no vision affected at all in the green fog, and they were also treated by the energy wave of the arbitration of good and evil. Their health did not drop but increased, and the situation was reversed in an instant. The results are very different with or without a healer, and it was a healer with no cooldown and could add blood continuously. The cannon fodders at the Mang base lost their vision, but they did not dare to leave the range covered by the green fog. This is their base. After leaving, the base crystal was blown up, and they would still lose. All they can do now is to play blindly. However, if they don't leave the green fog, their control skills are all still in the cool-down period, and they soon encountered the double oppression of poisoning buff and bleeding buff. What's more terrifying is that there is a light and shadow running around behind them like a meat grinder. Although their blind attacks can hit him, this light and shadow has its own healing effect, and their attacks can't pose much threat to him at all. At Jin Ke's reminder, the cannon fodders at the King Mo's mountain base all gave up attacking the cannon fodders at the Mang River base and began to attack the crystal pillars at the Mang River base with all their strength. The light and shadows transformed by Jin's body were getting faster and faster. At a certain moment, he suddenly entered a state of unity between man and nature, and the speed of strangulation was almost close to the limit that the plugin could achieve. It took only 1 second to complete the attack on the energy nodes behind the two targets. The 18 cannon fodders at the Mang River base were cleared out by Jin Ke in less than 10 seconds. The death mark was stacked up to 15 layers again. Several lines of system prompts popped up. Congratulations on awakening the assassin active skill, Death Shadow. Death Shadow. After activating the skill, you will enter stealth mode, recover 5% of your health per second and increase your movement speed by 50% for 5 seconds. The effect disappears after the stealth is lifted. When launching an attack, the stealth state is lifted, and within 3 seconds after the stealth is lifted, your attack power and movement speed will increase by 50% and 50% respectively. For every level of Death Shadow skill, the duration of stealth mode increases by 1 second. Cooling time, 5 minutes, cannot be reduced in any way. Energy consumption, skill level multiplied by 1. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.